I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I'm Diggins. I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Woo, yeah.
This week, we're talking about a movie that everyone saw according to the rules. We have to watch them all because that is how it works. And
every TV in America was briefly tuned to it, and a stray breeze sent us a twig tumbling across the remote.
yeah, and we watched it for exactly whatever the amount of seconds was that is required for it to be a view, no more, no less. And we are going to talk about that. Also, lots and lots of news. And also, returning from Valhalla, or what did we say last week? Yeah, or the Noor Dimension. Jesus Christ, I already forgot.
One of the two.
Yeah, returning from Valhalla, the Noor Dimension. We have podcast co-host, and now I guess like Jin God, DJ Chapman. So incredible that you made it back.
No.
How
I
are
thought
you
I made
doing?
it very clear. I'm a mutant.
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
Ba-na-na-na-na. That's the rules.
Clearly what I
Yes,
am.
every time you say mutant in the MCU now, you gotta go ba-na-na-na-na.
Or any, like, derivative of the word. Like, there might be some sort of mutation.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, and words that rhyme with it also get a sting, but it's off key. So if they're like, "Hey, did you see the new war in Russia started by Vladimir Putin?" It's like, no, or something. I'm trying to think of what word rhymes with mutants.
Hey guys, I know we're going camping next week, so I bought a new tent.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, DJ, how was it in the Noor Dimension? What's it like in there?
Oh, it's horrible. It's so purple and vague, and it's not really clear like what you're doing in there, and like it's a threat, but it's not a threat.
I hear when you go into it, you turn into a skeleton.
Yeah, well, I have special powers, so fucking rule.
Did those powers float away from you after you turned into a skeleton and go into your son?
Yes, my son now has those powers.
It's true, little baby Kamran. What if that was what you...
Imagine if I named him Kamran. Oh my god.
Just like, you know what? I like this show. I think this is going somewhere after episode 2. I'm going to name him Baby Kamran.
Little Kamran Chapman.
Yeah. So we didn't talk about it on the show explicitly, mostly because I couldn't figure out where to put it. But DJ, do you want to announce any news, anything like that?
Yeah. So for those who don't follow me on Instagram, or I guess Michelle on Instagram, Michelle and I did welcome our first child into the world. July 8th, so about 3 weeks ago. It was awesome. It rules being a dad. I will say, so he was born like a month early, so this was like out of nowhere. Like I was texting Diggins and Nando like, I'm going to the hospital, we're having a baby. Just like, out of nowhere. And I will say that if, you're ever expecting, just assume the baby will come early, because then you could only be over-prepared, instead of being like, well, we got time. And, not that we weren't prepared, but, I had so much shit I was going to do that weekend. I had to install the car seat in the hospital parking lot, which probably made me seem like the worst parent in the world, because I just didn't have the car seat already, ready to go.
Wow. Better than not installing it at all.
I mean,
yeah.
They won't let you leave with the baby. They get to keep your baby. They keep little Kamran.
But it's just, you have to install the car seat, but you can install it wherever you want. Can you do like Mr. Bean and install it on top of the car? You ever seen that Mr. Bean where he buys a nice chair and then puts it on top of the car and drives the car with little sticks and pedals?
Guys, it's definitely too late, but we really should have cornered the market on Man vs. Bee takes.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. I was excited. It is a bummer you didn't name it Kamran. I was really hoping, and I forget if I said this in the chat or just to someone else in real life or something. I was really hoping you would accidentally name the baby Mark David or something, just so you would have the baby named Mark David Chapman, and everyone would be
right.
like, oh, did he not know?
As if I wouldn't know, right? Because he's the only real Chapman that's He's probably the worst Chapman, actually, right? There's probably no worse Chapman than him.
Well, didn't we used to have a running joke that like the coach in the movie 42 who yells the N-word at Jackie Robinson is also named Chapman?
That's true. That's true.
I remember that being maybe the worst Chapman for a while.
That's a pretty good one.
But yeah, but Kamran would have been a good name too, and Kamran, the middle name could have been Mutants. No. That would have been pretty cool. While in the Noor Dimension / in Valhalla, you had that exciting news.
Yeah, we had a baby. It's awesome.
Yep, and you took your 1 or like 3 episodes of paternity leave from the podcast, and now as mandated by the United States of America, you are back. So
and it was unpaid leave. Also, we didn't compensate him.
Yeah, oh my god, we made him pay in not being on the podcast, and then we lied about how he liked the movies or whatever. I can't remember. Real quick, I don't think you've seen either of them. Well, no, I guess you saw Miss Marvel. You haven't seen Ragnarok. Yeah. Did we do another one?
Lightyear. I wasn't here for Lightyear. And
Lightyear, right?
Everyone missed. But you guys got to talk about how I thought that Game of Thrones was the best because Matt Reeves did a really good job at portraying Batman.
I'm really proud of what Matt Reeves is able to do with Game of Thrones. Did you do you have a take on Miss Marvel, and then do you think we were close on Lightyear and Thor: Love and Thunder?
So I actually still haven't seen Lightyear or Thor, so I only listened to the beginning parts of the pod and didn't get to avoid spoilers.
Oh, yeah. Have you been spoiled by any Thor stuff?
No, I know nothing. So yeah,
interesting.
I'll probably just try and wait till Disney Plus, which I imagine will be late August.
Yeah, I mean, Lightyear is next week, so I imagine Thor will be 2 weeks. I guess when Disney Plus Day is, or D23 is in September, so yeah, I feel like it'll even be earlier than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's just my plan to watch those on Disney Plus. So I did watch Miss Marvel. I don't have anything to add besides what you guys said. I will just throw out my own disappointment in I don't know, man. I'm getting really down on these shows to where it's just I'm so unexcited for She-Hulk. I might not even watch until I hear that it's good, or I might just look up a YouTube video. Why would I watch? I don't have a reason to care. Especially I think we're going to talk about some of the San Diego stuff. We're in this weird phase 4 of Marvel. It feels just like a bridge. It's I'll get caught up at some point or whatever. I just don't want to take the time to freaking watch. There's so many other good television shows on to watch.
I mean, that's fair. There are lots of good television shows. Many are just starting up as of the last week or 2 weeks ago, which we also re-recommend. We can re-recommend it this week, but we have recommended on your behalf a show, which maybe you'll want to talk about later.
Oh, I will, absolutely.
Get an actual chance to talk about it. But, so this week, you're back in an incredible week because, A, the movie is on Netflix, so you can watch it without going to a movie theater.
Hell yeah.
And B, the Comic-Con stuff is on the internet, so that's great.
Perfect.
I mean, there's some of the stuff that was only a Comic-Con, but you have baby, so you can't go.
So we are going to talk about that because Nando and I were at San Diego
obviously,
Comic-Con.
Because we are childless. Yeah.
You guys were I want to go head first right into the COVID. I just want to find a way to inject it into my veins.
I walked through the crowd, no mask, my mouth wide open, just catching all of the nerd sweat flying everywhere.
Well, again, it's if you're really committed to the COVID, you want to go to the Comic-Con because then you get an early peek at Zeta variant and shit like that that we don't even have yet. And it's a Comic-Con exclusive COVID variant. So
conventions even before the bad times were famously petri dishes of horrific diseases.
Yeah, it's honestly crazy. Looking back and being I don't want to go because I'm going to get COVID. It's why am I going to get COVID? Because it's cramped and sweaty and disgusting. It's it's always been awful. There's certain things you can just kind of only get at a Comic-Con or I guess a VidCon or any con, anime convention, whatever. But man, that is a thing that I am not thrilled to go back to, just because it's usually a disgusting mess of nonsense and people selling you stuff. So, yeah. So instead we get to watch it on a webpage or whatever, and a big old webpage that says all the things that we can buy soon and watch eventually. So we're going to talk about all of them. That's our news of the week.
Yeah.
I guess if we wanted to do a news of the week, because there was one other news, we didn't talk about this last week. This is kind of related to what we're going to be talking about. Did either of you guys read the article about how Marvel kills every person that makes VFX by throwing them into a volcano?
Yeah, I mentioned it during the Thor episode, I think, didn't I?
I think there was another one that came out like the other day. I think there was like reports of it going around, but there was an article. God, I can't remember what it was called, but it had like
an anonymous
title.
An anonymous VFX person who has worked on Marvel stuff, I think, wrote it.
Oh, then maybe I'm thinking of something different, or maybe it is the same thing. But yeah, DJ, do you have an opinion on that? Especially having seen the whatchamacallit, the Miss Marvel VFX.
Oh, I don't know, man. It's weird. It's like getting to a point where like VFX, and I guess this is true like always, right? But VFX that would have been like the most advanced stuff 20 years ago is so mundane now that it's like, well, what are we going to do? Are we really going to dump stuff, like millions and millions of dollars into dragons like Game of Thrones? Or are we just going to, chain some intern to a desk and have him try his best? Well,
and
it costs,
And I think Miss Marvel, compared to like Game of Thrones and all that other stuff, is a good example of like why maybe it doesn't work. It's because it's so clear that one of the things that it said in the article, or one of the articles, was that like Marvel changes things like 2 weeks before the movie's coming out or like the show's coming out, and they just make all the VFX workers do it. And like certain scenes, like maybe when everyone turns into a skeleton and the show changes whatever it's about at the end, feel very like last minute VFX-y. And not only does it not make the show good, it also, makes all the VFX people really upset. So yeah, it's pretty awful.
Yeah, if you're gonna do big complicated VFX like these shows and movies do, you need to have locked things in before they start doing most of the effects. Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's weird too, especially weird because like with Miss Marvel, what's stopping them from delaying it? I get movies are in a very specific schedule, have to be released. You have no control over when other people's movies are coming out, and you can't have it compete with them. Only so many screens in the theater. But with the Disney Plus thing, it's like, just wait. Nobody gives a shit. Like, dude, there's not that many toys. Just put it out in December or whatever.
Do they care about being like a certain schedule? Like, does that matter to them?
I'm sure they do, but like, it's not.
It's. I think in the article it even said they're like fanatical about always hitting the dates they said, which is why they work their VFX artists to death.
Well, I guess like with me, especially with Miss Marvel, it's like that release window was so bad. Like it was 3 weeks into Kenobi, and it kind of got buried. So it's like, and I think it had already been delayed. So maybe they were just like, we got to get this one out because she says the word mutants. We want that before Comic-Con or something. But like without that, it's like, I really don't see a reason. It feels like the idea of having these shows should, one of the benefits should be like the VFX schedule can be a little bit more flexible. But I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty weird. But no VFX in these news. No, nothing. Everything's, they decided this year all the Comic-Con stuff is going to be practical effects. That's true of maybe one thing. And,
man, it would be nice if that were true, but it's very much not.
Yeah, it would be interesting for sure. And like, I think, I don't know. I'd like to believe that like reports like this will help to like put some pressure on Marvel, but there's just like, I mean, they need to strike or unionize or something because there's no other way to deal with it, because they really are not like the only game in town, but especially when you look at what some of the other studios are putting out, it's like, well, yeah, of course Marvel has all the VFX artists because they also have, Black Adam's been done for 8 years, and like who else is making stuff at that scale? It's like Star Wars and this, so yeah, it's tricky. Although
wow.
I guess
Dando, I can't believe that paid Disney shill like you is just completely ignoring the DCEU.
I know. Well, I was going to say they are going to have some trouble with that Flash movie. I feel like the VFX crew has a lot of problems to solve, maybe. So maybe they can leverage that to get paid more. But Yeah, it's a weird one. And we will talk about all of it because there's lots and lots of Comic-Con news and also the Gray Man. DJ, before that, did you so you said you only listened to the one episode fully about Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Did you have any thoughts about other stuff like the game and things like that we did? Because you are an impartial third party. I guess maybe you didn't. Did you listen to the game for Thor and the other one? And Lightyear?
No,
okay.
I did not. And I'll be honest, I can't remember
yeah, I haven't seen much feedback, so I think what happened was probably fine for most people. But yeah, we did that where it was like me and Diggins just judged ourselves,
right?
Which was weird, but it did seem to work.
Also, it not for nothing, but I was excited for the Thor, besides seeing it with the podcast, because I believe it was my turn on the IMDb, and such a rare opportunity because I never get to do it. So
yeah, I guess it'll carry over to now where you get to do it for Gray Man, which good luck for us.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Me not having to do it is so good.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But let's talk about the actual San Diego Comic-Con 2022.
Yeah.
Lots of announcements, back, you guys. It's back.
First time in 3 years or whatever?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess they did all those weird little Comic-Con at home things, which didn't really work. I wonder, I've been talking or seeing chatter about this. We'll get to it when it comes up. But we know D23 is in, I think, September, early September. I haven't seen anything online about the Fandomi coming back. I don't know if they're even going to do it, which if they're not, it's well, then where are you going to show the other stuff? Because there's got to be other stuff, right? This can't just be
it's interesting because the Fandomi was a very it's the pandemic, so we'll do an all digital thing. But because the pandemic's over and now we could do, tens of thousands of people events in person with no problem.
Yep. Everyone's going to catch COVID every 3 weeks. Yeah. The pandemic's over. That's just life now.
You get your DC exclusive COVID variant Delta Omicron or something. So that'd be pretty cool.
But does Fandomi even make sense in a world where we're not doing digital events anymore?
It does.
COVID's over.
I'm going to say it does, considering how little DC showed at this. It's the only explanation for why we didn't see any Batgirl or Blue Beetle or footage from the things they also seem to have filmed, but are hiding from the press for some reason. But
right.
Well, we can't do a fandom until Black Adam comes out and the power hierarchy of the TCEU is changed.
Yeah, that's true. They do have to show us the power hierarchy. So that makes sense. But yeah, it does seem like maybe Comic-Con is now, it's not only back, but there was a point where it seemed like Comic-Con, Marvel and DC had both pulled out to a large extent. So it was what's Comic-Con even for anymore? And now they're both really back. So I wonder if it stays like this. Did either of you guys see anything about the floor of Comic-Con or any Comic-Con related anything that wasn't these announcements?
No.
I heard that there was a guy dressed as Deadpool who thought he was really funny.
What?
Nah.
Get out.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second. Yeah, I haven't heard too much about Comic-Con floor stuff besides it was packed with COVID. Although, to be fair, I did see a lot of pictures of creators, of the Artist Alley people taking pictures of people. A lot of them do seem to be wearing masks. So, I don't know. I mean, good for them, but whatever.
I think it's required to wear masks. I mean, as much as you can enforce that.
Yeah, and I feel like we're at a point where COVID's big enough to use its little COVID arms to open the mask itself and just get in under it. So I don't know how good they are anymore, but yeah, it's gonna be great, you guys. Let's talk about the actual stuff that got announced. There's so much of it to get through. First of all, obviously we got to start with the big one. Day one, Lego sets about Avatar. You guys,
let's go.
They look
guys,
great.
Avatar 2 so Way of Water is going to blow all the doors off of every record, box office wise. It's gonna be the biggest movie ever made,
and perhaps Lego wise, maybe it'll be the biggest Lego set ever sold.
The kids are clamoring. They're all in the toy stores shouting, "Where are my Avatar Lego sets?"
Yeah, I am confused.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, did you guys talk about it? Like, we talk about James Cameron was like, "Hey, stop being a little bitch if my movie's 3.5 hours long."
Yeah, we did talk about
Yeah,
that.
remember, you guys had the wrong
up.
opinion, and I had the right one.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
we were like, put brakes in then or something because it doesn't work without him.
Right.
Yeah, and I stand by that. And but these sets, they're all from the old movie, I think, right? Like these are things that happened in the first one. So
The tree.
yeah, the big
like,
walker thing with the knife.
Is the beachhead? Is that a set? Because that's like a new thing, or is that not actually?
I don't see any beach. Like, it's just like helicopters and shit, and the flying things. But like those were in the first one. So maybe there's a whole nother Avatar Lego wave coming next year. And so terrific.
Everyone's gonna be so excited.
Nothing from Avatar this year though at Comic-Con, which I'm kind of surprised. I could have seen them throwing something in there.
Yeah, I mean it's hard because like you need some adjacency to like comic or toy or something for comic, right?
I don't know about that.
Avatar's not like nerd shit for losers. It's a sophisticated adult movie for adults.
That's true. That's true.
Just like John Wick.
Yeah, we'll get to that. It does come out in December of this year, December 16th. So
allegedly, or like for real?
I don't know. I guess we're at the point now where it is for real. Although no trailer, so maybe not. But I mean, no trailer.
There was
of
a
this.
trailer.
There was a trailer, but yet
there's a trailer of that show, of that movie.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect. But probably be a lot like that first one if the Lego sets are any indication.
Yeah.
As well. We'll talk about it because it will come up again as something else that became quite similar to it. This is going to have an interesting release schedule with that as well. We'll get to it. But I do want to talk about the next thing because the next thing on the list is my favorite thing. I hope it's your favorite thing too, you guys. They're making a Dungeons & Dragons movie and it looks terrific. This is like easily, besides one of the Marvel things that like, you know, I'm going to be a sucker for no matter what. This is my surprise and like, holy shit, this looks awesome. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the check says which one in the memo lines that I have to be the most excited about. So, have you guys heard of this movie, Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves?
Not prior to this trailer.
I think I've heard the name Dungeons & Dragons before.
Okay, cool. Of course, you're talking about the original movie with the Wayans brother and stuff from 2002, maybe. Jeremy Irons and such.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, yeah, Jeremy Irons is in that movie.
Mm-hmm. I watched it when it came out, like a year or two after that. I haven't seen it since. I've been told it's very bad. We should do that for the pod when it comes out. This one comes out in March. Very excited about that.
That would be fun if we decide to go that route.
And like,
I think it's a good idea.
We'll definitely be talking about this because besides that, it just looks good. You know, it's got a lot of big stars in it, so it's going to be like a big release. It's in March, which is kind of, you know, it'll probably capture the attention of the world for an hour or two, and that's all it takes these days. But
the cast is stacked. You got Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez,
Regé-Jean Page, this year's big hit Gray Man,
or as my wife calls him, Mr. Bridgerton.
Yep, and that will.
How
be
many people is that
forever.
True for? Just like the guy from Bridgerton, as opposed to his like actual name.
I see.
I assume 50% of all people. Because I'm in that. I'm just like, oh yeah, Mr. Bridgerton.
Me too, and I've never watched Bridgerton, but I do know that's what he's from. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it depends. How much do you want him to kiss someone else on the Bridgerton show?
I mean, I do want him to because I love Bridgerton as a Bridgerton fan, but I don't want him to kiss anyone but me because I love him as a Bridgerton fan. So it's like that kind of thing. I imagine that's the what's the eternal balance like at the heart of every Bridgerton fan. But
so you're writing the self-insert Bridgerton fanfic.
Yeah. I think Bridgerton is the self-insert Bridgerton fanfic that someone wrote about Regé-Jean Page at some point. But yeah, it does have a crazy cast. You got, and we'll go through them one by one. But yeah, Chris Pine is the first one. He plays the Bard, it appears.
Yes, love that he's a Bard. That's great for him.
He's a very musical guy. I enjoyed that about him.
Yeah.
He was in that one where they did the Prince's bullshit. What is that called? Into the Woods. He was good in that.
Yes. He brings Bard energy to every role.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I think we've moved away from Chris Pratt Action Man to Chris Pratt, like funny guy.
Chris Pine?
Or Chris Pine, excuse me. Yeah, they've switched places where it was Chris Pratt,
It's
funny
true.
man, and now he's taking all the action man roles. They realized that doesn't really work for Chris Pine, and now he's taking all the funny man roles, and it makes me like him a lot. Yeah. What do you
The
think?
Chris
They have
tier
swapped
list
career
is changing.
That's true. Yeah, the power dynamic in the Chris universe is about to change forever. What do you guys think of him as a bard? Does he feel like he makes plans and he has a little guitar or a little lute or whatever?
Well, in theory, he should be casting spells when he plays his little lute. So,
Oh my gosh, here we
It
go.
would-
Mostly D&D picking.
I'm just saying, bards have spells, so that's not the only thing he can do is plan.
Do you think he's gonna like discover that at the end of the movie or something? Like,
I
my
don't know.
guitar can play spells.
And I don't really care if they're. I'm going to say this up front, so every time I point out something, y'all know I don't actually care if it follows the rules closely or not.
I do. It's all I care about.
I think what it's important about this movie that it like gets is it should just have the things where you're like, I know that. Like you're watching the trailer, it's like, oh my god, a gelatinous cube. Oh my god, the sword that attacks with itself. Like, oh my god, like literally at one point, Michelle was like, my character had that sword in a campaign, and like that's I think the fun stuff for fans.
Yeah.
where like you get to notice those things. But like, does the bard cast spells? And I'm not like saying anything about what you said, Diggins. It's just like in general, like just leave that stuff at home.
Yeah, I do think it's a good move to make it like a comedy action movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because any campaign of Dungeons and Dragons, unless your group is entirely committed, composed of extremely committed role players, is like 50% slapstick comedy.
It seems like they're gonna do like Dungeons and Dragons, like bits in the thing. And I don't know if you guys saw the scene with Hugh Grant where it seems like they're setting up a board. You know what I mean? Because he's like got a big what's the word? Like a Coliseum kind of thing. I don't know what his deal is. If he's like the king of it, but it looks like they're setting up like a D&D
He is the villain
board on
from
it.
Paddington 2.
He better fucking be. Yeah. What's his name? I know this, right? Don't I know this?
You're the one who always says it.
Yeah, he's
Yep.
back, baby. Maybe he'll turn into a big phoenix. We also got Justice Smith as a mage. Sure. Michelle Rodriguez as a barbarian. She seems like the second lead in the team. She looks fun. Like that energy.
Interesting they went with all like human like main guys. Like they didn't throw like a dwarf or an elf or like a orc, half
Isn't the druid an elf?
So yeah, I don't know what her deal is. Because
having antlers is just a druid thing. So she has antlers because she's a druid.
I guess those are, so she might be an elf, but I don't think it's super clear. Also, she can turn into a big, what is that called? Owlbear?
Owlbear.
Oh, loved that, by the way. That was fantastic.
Oh, did you guys know that druids
yeah.
can't wild shape into owlbears because they're monstrosities, not beasts?
So I have heard, but late editions maybe let you do that or something. Who knows? But I've heard there are kind of workarounds logically to how that can
It's
make
fine.
sense. Yeah.
The answer is it's fine. Who cares?
Yeah.
No, I lied, Diggins. I like this new character where you point out all the things that are wrong with it, and I want you to do that instead.
Yeah.
Well,
I
mage
changed my
isn't a
mind.
character class, so is he like a wizard, a sorcerer, a warlock? So, like, what exactly
good
is he?
question.
Because
Yeah, this is
a
my
mage
favorite
is just like an NPC kind of character designation.
Yeah, I guess we don't know yet. Maybe we do. Maybe that's clear in the trailer, or maybe that's clear based on like what he's holding and shit. But I don't know. I'm gonna say he's a wizard, like Harry Potter. It's just that guy,
Wizard would
you know?
be kind of the standard one.
Yeah, he has like a Gandalf-y looking staff. I don't know if that makes any difference, but
Any of them can have staffs.
yeah. How about Regé-Jean Page, Bridgerton's man? He seems to be a paladin, is what I've heard.
He looks like a paladin to me, yeah.
Yeah.
He might be an elf. I don't know. What are his ears? No, those are regular ears. Yeah, I don't know.
They got regular ears, they ain't elves. Elves got them ears.
Yeah. And then we got Hugh Grant as Forge Fletcher, who seems to be a medic, although he also seems to be the bad guy, so I don't know how that works.
A medic?
I don't know. What do you call it? in that?
Cleric, right?
Cleric, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Could he be the bad guy? Is that possible?
It's possible.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, bad guys can have class levels. In fact, they often do, because that makes them more dangerous.
What D&D, like, in-jokes do you guys want to see in this? Because I don't play D&D, but
Well, there's There's already a mimic and a gelatinous cube in the trailer, so that's good.
Yep, that is good. I recognize that from Onward. Remember Onward, you guys?
Oh yeah, Onward.
Yeah, there was a gelatinous
the
cube
first
in Onward.
D&D movie.
Yeah, so there you go.
Let's see, there's a lot of stupid bullshit that could be in this movie. I hope there's a
like,
frog Hemoth.
Do you do anything with like critical hits or critical misses? Like, does any of the gameplay stuff make it in?
Yeah.
Or do you do purely?
Maybe a commoner will be killed by a house cat at one point.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah, so like in some editions, commoners only have 1 hit point, and house cats have surprisingly good dexterity for how low like threat they're supposed to be. So like if you were going strictly by rules, it would be trivial for a house cat to just kill a person.
That's really funny. I hope they do that. It'd be great. The one thing I've heard that people one thing I heard mentioned was they want one of the guys to not be there for a little bit. Like, it's clear that guy took a week off or something. Or, like, yeah, they just have a different accent because they're being played by somebody else. I don't know how you do it. Do you think we'll see people playing
They're just standing around and not saying anything for a long period of time?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I feel like it's more fun if it's not people playing a game, because if it's people playing a game, it's like it becomes kind of this question of, well, who cares? It's all just a game.
Well, like I guess I mean it like it doesn't have to be like, oh, they're playing a game, but just like, I don't know, the joke would be like one of the characters like, hey, I just gotta go do a thing for like 8 hours, I'll be back. And like, we're not playing a game, it's like in universe, but
no. I would love that. Yes, that would be great.
What I mean is like, I think that would be cool. I think if they just like suddenly cut to, a bunch of nerds in a basement or something, then that would be lame. Unless it's like Joe Manganiello in a basement by himself or something, just moving all the pieces around. That would be kind of But I wonder, do you think Vin Diesel and like Joe Manganiello and some of the more D&D adjacent celebrities will have cameos in this?
I mean, they should. But,
right? Or they should get better agents. Yeah, so this looks fun. This is March something or other. Very excited about this one. And I think this is the most surprising. Like, a lot of people came out of Comic-Con going, oh, I didn't know about that, and now I think it looks good. Speaking of the opposite of that, National Treasure's getting a show, and they put out a trailer that not only doesn't have Nicolas Cage, doesn't really seem to have anything.
It's mostly people explaining that there's going to be a National Treasure show.
Yeah.
Right?
How excited are you guys for that?
Zero excitement.
Negative.
Yeah, if I could be negative, it would be negative.
Yeah.
They took out the best part, which is Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Like, what's the fucking point, right?
What do you think which president or whatever will have secretly hid something? Can it be George Bush or something? Is that too recent? That he like has a mountain full of gold in the middle of the, I don't know, underneath the Astrodome or something?
Which George Bush? W or HW?
Maybe both, or maybe just one. Maybe they kidnapped the real George Bush or something. Well, no, I guess, are they both alive, or is one...
George H.W. is dead.
He died. Okay, yeah, so that one is the one that they can't kidnap. Maybe they can
Which president can he trick by putting into a cave?
I'm gonna say like
a little adventure.
All of them, but Obama right now. I don't think there are that many living presidents that are fully untrickable. In fact, I think a lot of them have a childish curiosity where you wouldn't even really need to like push them into the cave. You could just go like, "I heard there's something pretty cool in that cave." They go, "Whoa, what?" and then go into the cave. So, yeah.
You see, there's candy in there. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. So they're
Look, there's some war crimes to commit in that cave.
Yeah. Well, then they'd send the drone in. So we want the actual president to get their hands dirty.
Okay, so. there's a veteran who committed some war crimes and hasn't received the Medal of Freedom yet.
There you go. No, they have to go in there. So yeah, I don't know. I say it looks bad because it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look.
It doesn't
much.
Look like anything.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
We'll see later. But I remember hearing that they were making that and going, well, if they're not making it with Nicolas Cage, it's probably not going to work. And it doesn't. So far. Let's see. Next thing on the list. Apparently, there's some sort of SpongeBob universe crossover event. Me and Diggins were talking about this before. I don't understand what that means.
Yeah, the SpongeBob spin-offs are just like the SpongeBob characters in different situations. So, like, what's the crossover? A regular episode of SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Well, it's like they're crossing over Camp Coral, which is in that young SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Like,
so wait,
right?
Is there going to be time travel?
Yeah. Might as well. There probably already has been. Didn't they go to the future once?
Yeah.
They did.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Way early SpongeBob.
They can do that again. That was early SpongeBob, so it's probably cool. So
Yeah, like actually fun SpongeBob.
yeah.
Before the creator died.
True.
Oh yeah.
Maybe he hit national.
Will that show
treasure.
ever be canceled, or will like Nickelodeon? We're gonna be like 20, like 50. Like my grandkids are gonna be watching new episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Absolutely.
What'll be canceled first, SpongeBob or The Simpsons?
The Simpsons.
Yeah,
I think-
Simpsons.
Well,
The thing is, Simpsons hasn't outlived its creator yet, and SpongeBob has. So SpongeBob is like fully just like a network-owned like
Yeah,
vehicle for squeezing money out of children.
here's
like
the
there's
Simpsons-
no reason for them to. Yeah,
Simpsons theoretically has a single shred of creative integrity left.
Yeah, but the thing with Simpsons is like, I think Simpsons is so tied to network television that like that isn't good for it because network television ain't doing so great. Now it's on Disney Plus, but like that's not. It probably isn't doing super hot there. Whereas and I feel like Simpsons isn't like marketing. You can't market Simpsons toys to children the same way you can with SpongeBob. So like, I feel like that's the only thing that's going to keep either of these alive. But also, SpongeBob will go to Paramount Plus, the one that no one watches. So like, maybe that is why it will die.
well, one day these will all be consolidated, right?
Yeah.
like they're just gonna be
Oh yeah,
we're
under
gonna have
Paramount
back to two
Plus.
streaming service. Yeah, right.
Well, one day it's going to be consolidated for a couple years, and then it'll all fragment again.
Yeah, Circle of Life. Speaking of consolidation, did you guys see Multiverses? The new fighting game has LeBron James
Yeah.
in it from Toon Squad specifically,
Yeah, LeBron James and Rick from Rick and Morty.
and Rick from Rick and Morty. Yeah.
Guys,
Way to
did
go,
you know?
LeBron
James
guys,
is weird.
guys, did you know that there's this one episode of Rick and Morty where he? I'm sorry, I'm just
Wait,
thinking
what?
about it. It's making me laugh so much. Guys, did you
Oh,
know
no.
that there's this one episode? Did you? Did you know there's this one episode of Rick and Morty where he turns himself into a pickle?
What?
I know.
Why?
Funniest
Is
shit
that
I've ever
funny?
seen. It's
Seriously?
it's the best. Rick is
man.
my idol. I want to model my life after Rick because I think he's the coolest and best person who's ever lived.
Well, everything's pointless, so he gets it.
Exactly.
Yeah, see, I only have a bachelor's degree, so I don't really get Rick and Morty. But I've heard from people with master's degrees, like my good friend Core, that it is actually very good and people love it if you understand it. So I'm just gonna trust that it's cool and sweet. Yeah, but yeah, what's his name? Fucking LeBron James, baby. It's weird that he's a Toon Squad guy because everyone hates that movie. Oh, maybe kids like that
Yeah.
movie. I don't know.
But I mean, also you can't put photorealistic LeBron James into this cartoony fighting game.
Well, I guess, and they probably don't have the licensing to like whatever team he's on currently. Still in the Cavs, right?
The Lakers, right?
Oh no, Lakers,
Yeah,
right?
Lakers,
yeah.
yeah.
So they probably can't do that until Warner Brothers buys the Lakers, and then they can.
Right?
Yeah, that'll be fun. And then you can get all the fantastic winning time characters into
Yeah,
it. Like
you
that
could
coach
get
who's mad.
shitty Pat Riley,
Yeah.
and drunk Jerry West, and
Yeah.
all your favorites.
That'd be pretty cool. How about this, you guys? They made a Lord of the Rings show. DJ's favorite.
Yo, I cannot wait. This shit looks so good. I'm so excited. Guys, this is going to be the show of the year. It's going to be the show of the decade. It's going to make Game of Thrones look like a piece of garbage. I am so excited for this, guys.
Well,
I
DJ,
am so
it's very easy to make Game of Thrones look like a piece of garbage right now.
That's true. That is true. And
Wait
this,
till House of the Dragon. This is going to be all the hot shit.
yeah, it's on the list. This looks pretty good. I don't know. Does make Game of Thrones look like garbage, kind of.
I don't know. I never
pretty-
really pictured Sauron as being like a scumbag guy in an alt rock band from the early 2000s.
I didn't honestly know Sauron was in this trailer. Where does he show up in it?
Well, I don't think he's in the trailer, but they showed us a picture of him. And let me see if I can find this.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Oh, God.
Yeah, besides that, I don't know. This one looks like Lord of the Rings stuff. Still don't really know what the show's about. But
It's about the Rings of Power. What more info do you need, Nando, about the greatest show ever?
That's a good point. And it's, is it coming out this year?
Yeah, it's coming out in like a month.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah, you're right. September 2nd. My goodness.
You're all going to get to see how right I am.
You might be. I don't know.
Exciting for you guys.
Definitely wasn't bad. So that's good. It doesn't look crappy. Because some of those original pictures they showed or something didn't look as amazing. This looks pretty good. Oh, wait. Is this Sauron? The, like, guy with the haircut and the big old, like, kind of is wearing a lot of white? Is that supposed to be him?
Yeah, hold on. I just
Okay.
found the picture that I was looking for, so let me share it with you guys.
It's fine if you guys are jealous of hot Sauron. It's totally fine.
Hot. That's the adjective you're going for?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hot Sauron.
He does appear in the trailer. 55 seconds. I didn't know this was supposed to be Sauron, but yeah, I don't know. He looks fine. He looks. I guess this wasn't what I expected from Sauron, but
He looks like he just came back from a girl's house that a girl's apartment that he spent the night in after, having a one night stand where he didn't fulfill her needs at all, smelling of cigarette smoke, and came in asking for $20.
it sounds like something he would do. He's a bad guy.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's what he looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's hot.
hot Sauron. Is that the weirdest
saying the
hot
same
thing that's ever happened in like hot?
That's not even the weirdest hot thing that's happened in Lord of the Rings, Nando. Remember when that game came out where they turned the giant spider into a sexy lady?
Oh, yeah.
I remember that. I still think Hot Jafar is the top of my list, but this guy is right up. We'll see what this guy does to be hot. What kind of hotness he exhibits, but yeah. I don't know. This looks okay. It looks pretty good. Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know. It seems fine. I don't have a lot of faith. Yesified Elrond is weird.
I can't wait for you guys to eat so much fucking crow.
See, the yassified Elrond, it's like, what are you talking? Like, what's this? Hugo Weaving's not yassified. Back in the day, he was pretty good looking, you know. Didn't they probably yassify him in the other thing too, in The Hobbit? I bet we got some sort of weird aged down version of him.
Well, the thing is, yassify doesn't just mean make hotter. It's specifically in a weird kind of way. So what I'm saying is the new Elrond looks weird.
Okay.
In a way that's supposed to be hotter.
I see. Interesting. Well, yeah, we will see. Is this supposed to be Elrond? So it's a completely different guy?
I don't think Hugo Weaving is being Elrond in this show.
Yeah, it's not Hugo Weaving.
It's like
Kate Blanchett isn't Galadriel.
Yeah, that's true. But that one, the Kate Blanchett stand-in they got does look like her. If you go to the second video of it, that's like the Lord of the Rings of Power's female dwarves will have beards, blah blah blah. That video is the guy that's the thumbnail on that supposed to be Elrond? It's the thing right over the Groot thing in our little article that I'm going through.
Yeah, I just gotta pull it up.
Gotcha. Because if that is Elrond, then yeah, you're right. That's pretty yassified, considering how he usually looks in these. Do we know how far in past this is?
I believe it's the second age.
Yeah.
What are we in? Or what were they in?
Lord of the Rings is the third age.
Into the fourth age. Like the end of the Lord of the Rings.
It's the end of the third age, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's an age? 100 years?
It's not like a linear...
Indistinct.
It's more like milestone-based, not time-based.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure if this dude is Elrond or the other dude in that trailer is Elrond. It's not very clear to me.
Okay. It looks great. I do have to remember who all these guys are. That will be a thing where I have to go back and learn the names again.
Do you think they'll do a thing like Obi-Wan Kenobi where they'll like play the movies for us and give us a nice little refresher of what happened in the future, I guess, in this case?
Maybe. Do they have the rights?
No.
Yeah. No, Amazon owns the movie.
Oh, okay. Then
they own the
They don't own the rights to like the... Is it like a book thing they don't own the rights to?
The Silmarillion. They don't own the rights to the Silmarillion.
That's true.
Yeah. But like all the movies are on Prime. Like Prime Video.
Also, they have the rights to air the movies. It's not the same thing as owning the movies.
Well, no, they bought... Didn't when they buy MGM, that's how they got them?
They bought something. I think they may have the rights.
I thought there was a thing they bought that gave them... I thought it was MGM, but I could be wrong.
I wouldn't be surprised if just because they're on Amazon Prime, that means they can show bits of the movies in their show as like a little, like previously on, or like later on the thing.
Well, his
name is all wrong.
I mean, only a few of the elves would be shared characters because this is long enough ago that anyone else we would know would not have been born yet.
That's true.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Do you think there would be a bit where somebody takes out a picture of a little baby Gimli and goes, "I'm Gimli's dad"? For us, that happens in The Hobbit. I like that.
That's true. That. And then someone's like, "What an ugly baby! I will never end up being friends with this baby."
Yeah, they really do. That movie sucks. And then he does Mario jumps over like a falling bridge. That was real bad.
Chasing some incredibly bad CGI barrels.
Yeah. Oh god, the barrels. That was. I hope they bring those back. Maybe there'll be someone making the barrels in the background. He's like, these will be really cool barrels someday.
You guys know what these are for. Wink.
Yeah, these are made of titanium. It's very important barrels. Well, now we gotta get the first hint of Marvel stuff in our list of things that happened. You guys, they did the cartoon stuff first. They did that on like Friday or whatever. Got a lot of stuff. There's an I Am Groot show that seems like it's just little cartoons that are really short, where it's Groot messing around. It's fine.
Yeah, that looks like very much specifically for kids.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a thing that is very easy to ignore, so whether or not it's good, I kind of don't care.
And apparently it's not canon.
Well, and it's bullshit. I'll never watch it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's like the new thing. And I was saying this because we'll get to it the next one, or in 2 ones, but I don't think anything's canon anymore unless it explicitly is. Like, unless it's referenced by everyone, I can be convinced it doesn't happen or it's in an alternate universe. But, yeah, this thing was fun. It's August 10th, so it's also very soon. But it's just like 5 shorts, so yeah, it'll be pretty easy to miss. Another animation thing, What If Season 2 is coming, you guys?
Hell yeah, the thing we all definitely wanted. And everyone was like, oh my god, really? We're doing this?
They showed a clip of a new episode. They may have showed the whole episode. It's Peggy Carter doing Winter Soldier or something this time.
Fun.
Ooh.
I don't know what it is about that show.
I wonder if they fixed their VFX practices enough that the mouths won't make me want to gouge my eyes out.
I mean, you'd hope so, right? Because they do have, at least with this, especially since they're just reusing Peggy Carter and some of these other characters, they should be able to just take those, assets and reuse them. But yeah, who knows? I don't think there's anything too exciting about this one. I'm sure it will tie into some other story or some bullshit. How about Spider-Man freshman year? This was a big one.
Well, Nando, wait. On the What If, we're getting a whole zombies, right? What If? Like a whole different season of... Right?
Yeah,
isn't that a thing?
That's its own show, and I thought that was on this, but you're right. It's not. I don't see it on this list.
Well, and I thought it was part of the What If thing. Like, the Marvel Zombies is going to be, like, a spin-off of what already happened in the What If zombie episode.
So, yeah, it seems like that. I do see it on the list, but it's not. There's no pictures, so it's kind of pointless. So we'll talk about it now. Yeah, there was some images that came out. There were 5 of them, and it was characters that haven't been in it yet, mostly, like Shang-Chi and Miss Marvel and stuff, doing more zombie stuff. But it's supposed to be, it's rated MA, which I think is not true. But because what could it possibly be? Hardcore sex. Because like what we've already seen them get their heads blown off and stuff. We're gonna watch individual entrails.
One of the Zambambos is a lady, and her boobs are visible.
Oh no! You see a whole nipple?
That'd be
Yep.
wild. What
Yeah,
about
actually,
Shang-Chi?
only
He
one
just
boob.
hang dong.
Only the one boob has nipple out.
All right. I'm going to take... Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I can't even imagine who would be the funniest one if it was.
Oh God.
I'm going to think of one, though. Who's the least consequential Marvel female character that could show up? Just show up.
Not a
most
question
of
I feel
them.
comfortable answering.
Yeah, I think most of them is true. Yeah, just get Glenn Close back from Guardians of the Galaxy, and then like, hey, everybody, I'm in a Disney ride now too, or something. So
The lady Robert Downey Jr. sleeps with in the first Iron Man.
oh, she's so consequential. She's in everything now. They do.
Yeah, it's
web
the last last
shorts with
time that the MCU acknowledged that sex exists.
her. How dare you? How dare you? It's the Eternals. The Eternal is in that too. It's the first time I've seen an Eternal in any Marvel thing besides Eternals. They mentioned Kingo and Miss Marvel, but we don't see his little face.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, Chris is coming back as a zombie, but doesn't seem like he's a zombie because I don't think he can be.
Like, how would that work? Isn't it a disease? How is it? How would they?
I don't know.
Whatever.
How did fucking... There's so many
Yeah, how
of
do
them.
half of them get it? Honestly,
Yeah.
it's stupid.
But, and it's like, it might be a disease, but it's also like, it's a disease from the quantum realm in that universe, so it may be like something else.
true.
I don't know. But yeah, it's got Shang-Chi, it's got some Skrull. I'm trying to think of who else is in it. Miss Marvel, which is weird. I guess maybe Captain Marvel came back for that. But otherwise, it's like, why would she even like... I mean, it doesn't make sense in the actual show why she likes Captain Marvel, so it should make sense here. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be great. I actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I don't think it will be a spinoff of the other one. Because they showed some other zombies. They showed, like, zombies that'll be in it that I'm pretty sure they killed in the first one. Like, Captain America, who got cut in half, I think, is back. So
Maybe I got fooled by the internet. 'Cause
No,
Maybe these are regenerating zombies.
Maybe. And it looks like them. Like, it's the same animation style, and it's this very specific thing. Yeah. It's going to be great.
Maybe it's the origin of that universe.
Maybe.
Ooh.
That's true. I do think, like, yeah, the Ten Rings, there's some things that have... And maybe, like, we haven't seen Thor in this yet. I feel like he can't get zombified. There's a lot of characters that I feel like could just show up and the zombies bite them, and they're like, nope. I'm a god. It doesn't count, and I'll just kill all the things. It's not really a big deal for me.
I would think all the radiation in Hulk's blood would also prevent him from getting a disease.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, he so far has not gotten it. In the show, he doesn't end up getting it. He just kind of maybe dies in a fight with the zombie Scarlet Witch, but who the fuck knows? I don't know. Thanos is the one that I'm like, I don't think he should be able to get zombified.
He's not a
besides
human.
having the Infinity Stones, yeah, and he's like maybe an Eternal, as they've kind of explained.
Yeah.
Like his brother is the one from One Direction who shows up. So, yeah, I don't know. But also, you guys, there's a Spider-Man cartoon called
Oh, yeah, baby.
Spider-Man Freshman Year.
Nando, I can't enjoy this show because I'm too busy trying to figure out if it's canon or not.
It very well may be, depending on which press release you read. Because, yeah, there was one press release that was like, it is, and then there was another one that was like, it's not. And it pretty much can't be, because, like, Norman Osborn's in it. So,
Right.
that wouldn't make much sense.
But this is the who cares of it all, right? Like,
Yeah.
who gives a fuck if it's canon? Like, enjoy it. It'll probably be fun. Is X-Men 97 canon?
Probably.
No,
I mean, it's,
DJ, I can't have fun. This is no place for fun. I have to know what's canon.
I mean, I do think X-Men
How am I supposed to
97
update the wiki if I don't know what's canon, DJ?
You're talking about Wiki Feet, right? Pictures of
Yes.
the feet.
Obviously,
seen-
yes.
I haven't seen Wiki Feet, but I do think there's like a checkbox for canon or not
Oh,
canon.
God.
Yeah,
Nando,
Spider-Man
are you on
Freshman Year.
WikiFeed?
Nah, I don't show my feet. They're disgusting. I don't even show
you
my
are
feet.
now.
I don't show my feet
We're
to
putting
people.
you on. We're putting you on WikiFeet, bro.
Spider-Man
You don't show
Freshman
your
Year.
feet to your partners. Socks on, always.
Always. Spider-Man Freshman Year, you guys. It's got Charlie Cox in it as Daredevil. That's a theme of this year, Comic-Con. We'll get to it. That is, I think, something that they do slap on the stuff. Is like, you guys, does this give us goodwill for this project nobody was super interested in before? Charlie Cox Daredevil.
I feel like it's like immediate diminishing returns. Like, they did it once and it was like, and every other time since then I've been like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This one looks fine. I do like that they made Norman Osborn black, probably, because his ridiculous fade from the comics doesn't make sense on a white guy. You know, that wild
Plus,
hair he had.
I like it when
waves.
all of my villains are ethnic minorities. It really fits with my worldview.
Yeah, that would be funny if they had to re-edit Spider-Man No Way Home, and he sees Norman Osborn. He's like, he's white. They have to put that scene in because, yeah, he should know Norman Osborn. But it seems like this Norman Osborn will kind of take the place of Tony Stark, because they kind of redid one of the scenes from Civil War, but instead it's Norman Osborn. Yeah, I don't know. This will probably be fine. It's got all the guys. Is there anything you want to see in this, you guys?
This is like something I probably won't watch. Like, this is probably for kids again, right? Like, I doubt it's for...
Oh, this is for kids, right?
Like, yeah, it's true. Every single...
Also, we're all kids.
What adults are watching this?
Yeah.
What parents are watching
It's-
this that, like, not for their kids?
DJ, everything has to be designed such that theoretically both a child and an adult could watch it. We can't have any adult-only entertainment, ever.
Yeah, that's what the porn channels are for. That's why it's adult entertainment.
Right, that's what Marvel Zombies is. That's what Glenn Close is single boob. Like, that's what they're getting at it. And, like, that's great. That they're making one show for adults. But, yeah, I don't know. It might be... I think this one is one, and I think the X-Men one is that, too, where, like, I do want to see what it looks like. Like, if it looks cool, that could be cool. But so far, it's just been, like, little pictures of all the guys. It does have... They're bringing back... You know who they're bringing back that I do care about? Nico Maru. Actually, I can't remember. I think that's how you're supposed to say her name. Nico. It's Nico. From Runaways is in it, so... Probably not the same actor, but I did like that show, and I like those characters. But the big one from the animation panel, you guys, X-Men 97.
Yeah!
It looks a little bit like the original, but it's also got a weird kind of sheen on it that looks not quite right.
Nothing made today can look like it's from, like the 90s or whatever. It will look like it's from today always.
Yeah, it looks like it's from today, from the 90s, like through a filter of like, you know, it looks like it's from the 90s, but it's clearly from today. This one was also just pictures, I think, but it seems like it's gonna pick up where the last one left off, which who knows how many. There was like 5 seasons of that. I don't remember when that was. But
yeah, I mean, I would have to I remember it being a good show, so like not like I'd mind.
Oh yeah, it was great. I think in the end, is that the one where Professor X dies in the last episode? That might be how that one ends.
And how do you pick it up?
Yeah, which I guess makes it not canon, because the only way that could be canon is if it's Doctor Strange canon, but I'm sure he can get resurrected or some shit. What were things that were shown in this? They showed some mutants that I don't think either haven't been on, or a bunch of them had been on it, but in really limited roles. Like Nightcrawler's not really on the show that much. Forge isn't really on the show that much. So they showed them. Storm has a new haircut. They showed Emma Frost, Sebastian Shaw, which weren't on the show very much. That bitch Val Cooper, who we all love, who's like kind of a deep cut, but she is the leader, not the leader, but she invented X Factor. So my favorite X super team, it could maybe make it into the show. Even though they were already in it, but maybe they'll speak this time. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys want for... Oh, and then Magneto is in his classic really ugly 90s costume. Or not 90s, I guess 80s. Where he has the big old M on his chest.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
he
really
says,
hate that.
X-Men, welcome to die.
Yeah! That would be great. X-Chickens, it's time. They could change the show to that. X-Chickens 97.
Is that the one where, like, Reed Richards defeats Magneto with, like, a wooden gun?
Oh, no. That was, like, the original, like, 60s animated show.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's done it since then in the comics, but that clip I remember being from the from the like the 60s or 70s one, where like only their mouths move sometimes, and it's clearly just pictures. Yeah, do you guys have any hopes for this? Things you want to see?
I don't really care.
Yeah.
Again, probably won't watch it.
I think
Unless
if this
we
one
do
is
it for this.
That's true. It might be good. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It is an X-Men thing, so it'd be the first X-Men they actually do, besides Professor X in Doctor Strange. But Yeah, I don't know. I heard a rumor. This I don't know if it's true, but it makes a little bit of sense. That the X-Men contracts are such that the Dark Phoenix characters have contracts that make it so they can't be recast until 2025, which is why none of the original characters have shown up in recast roles. That makes sense, right? Haven't gotten a release date on any X-Men stuff yet, and yeah, that might be cool.
Could be.
Yeah. It'll just be Miss Marvel and Professor X's dead corpse floating around on its big giant chair as the X-Men fighting whatever villain never made it into, I guess, Mr. Sinister. But yeah, so those are all the animation things. Next up, Walking Dead. There's more of that going.
It's still going?
So I think it's almost done, but then there's spin-offs and shit.
Isn't everyone dead? Who's left?
No, well, I think they killed Rick, but it was a fake out because he's getting a show too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Pretty much everybody's alive except for what's his name for the Punisher. I think he's managed to stay dead since whenever he died in season 2. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, more of that. More of that. What else is there? 4th season of For All Mankind. Great show. Everyone should watch it. Keanu Reeves' anime thingy is happening, which is funny. It's like a comic he made like last year, and everybody was like, okay, this is going to be a show. That's the deal with this. And then it was, so that's going to be great. It's kind of like an original character that is Wolverine. Let's see. There's a lot of nothing here until the real stuff, which is taking its time. All right, so now we're at DC, you guys. DC's panel. Really exciting stuff. One thing that's kind of interesting is Henry Cavill was not there promoting Man of Steel.
What?
Oh.
But they said he would be.
So that's what's interesting about it. They said that, and then it didn't happen, right? And it seemed like a weird internet rumor.
Yeah, also, who was the they? The they seemed pretty weird on who the they was.
Well, depended on which publication you read, because sometimes it was like rumors, and sometimes it was like the 11th commandment that has been on the tablets since the BC times says that he will show up, and it's a confirmed fact. So I don't know, but one thing I heard that I think is interesting is someone set this into the Weekly Planet, and it was part of their hot scoop or shot of poop thing. That was he was going to go, but he got COVID, and they had to shut down Witcher, and he couldn't go. And then it turned out he did get COVID and had Witcher stuff shut down. So that actually might be true, which would be insane because that was the only thing anybody wanted to see at this.
So maybe he is coming back?
It's possible.
I thought he said, I am done. I no longer want to be Superman. I'm done. Leave me be. Please stop asking me if I'll be Superman.
I don't know. I feel like if I've seen him in interviews, if anything, it's been like, yeah, probably come back if they gave me a lot of money and it was good. But we didn't get any announcements at their DC panel. We just got 2 trailers and some other stuff. But let's start with Shazam, you guys. They're making another Shazam movie.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think I do like Shazam. What do you think is going to happen in this one?
Diggins is stoked.
I think that they're going to do some pretty fun antics in the first half that are nice and good, and then but the whole time they're setting up a villain who's like an evil Shazam, but he's not interesting at all. And then the whole second half of the movie will be about that villain and all the not interesting things he does until there's a big CGI fight with even less interesting villains.
I mean, it's possible. The villains of this seem to be Lucy Liu and what's her name? Helen Mirren. Yeah. So I don't know what their deal is. Maybe one of them's good. I don't know. They're like gods, but like old gods.
How old, Nando?
I don't know. How old are the gods supposed to be? 2,000 years? That's when Jesus was born, and he is the Lord. Yeah. No, I don't know. God. I assume they're Greek gods, right? Because that's what Shazam is. He's tied to, like,
or they're Solomon.
Well, We talked
Oh,
about
right,
this.
yeah, or they're
he's-
just
he's
guys.
all of the things.
Yeah.
He's all of the gods.
Maybe they know Solomon from history, and they're like, it's kind of bullshit. You have to give us at least that one back. You don't have to give us all the other powers back, but like, yeah, he was
You
like
gotta
my
give
uncle.
Solomon back. Is Jesus Christ giving you his powers? I didn't think so.
No, that comes up in that'll be in the Marvel thing. Don't you worry. I don't know. This looks fine. It does have a weird Fast and Furious reference that I didn't quite understand.
Right?
Because she's in those movies, right? Like in universe, who plays Helen Mirren's character in the Fast and Furious movies?
She's like, I know all about family.
Yeah,
In that one, it is Judi Dench.
yeah, that would be great. Like in the last, what was that? Last Action Hero? Is that which one that was? Where they made fake posters for all the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, but since Arnold Schwarzenegger was in it, they put Sylvester Stallone in them. They should do that more. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. This one looks fine. It's got all the Shazam guys in it. But then, you guys, the real news is that let's all say it at the same time, the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change forever. Yep.
Forever.
The Rock showed up in his little costume, which I always respect. Very good. I think he descended or something into the crowd with smoke, and he showed them a Black Adam trailer. It's the official one. What do you guys think of this?
Honestly, it's so underwhelming based on the first Black Adam trailer, which like we already saw. You know,
It doesn't have my favorite line from the first trailer.
Which one's that?
Heroes don't kill people.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I do.
Yeah, that's a good line. Because it kind of sums up what's so special about him and never has happened in one of these
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
I know. No one's ever had the idea of you take a hero and you make him kind of bad.
Yeah. And the DC
They should
heroes
come up with a
definitely
word for
don't
that.
kill people.
They should come up with a word for a hero who's kind of bad.
Add to D heroes. Like Adam, Black Adam. So it's like ADTI heroes.
what about like a hero who is like a reverse hero, like a nega hero, or an anti-hero?
No, that's stupid. No,
Yeah, that
I
sounds
hate
dumb.
that.
I don't like that either because it sounds too much like their.
It sounds like you're calling them your aunt
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
with a weird accent.
I mean, maybe they are. Ants can be heroes too, you know?
Yeah, look at Ant-Man.
Look at Ant-Man, look at Aunt May. Look at how Aunt May was Aunt-Man in the Chip and Dale movie. Remember that?
right.
Yeah,
Good little
he was
movie.
Ant-Man.
We like that all. Yeah, this will have more stuff in it. More of the guys from the Justice Society. Showed some Dr. Fate's doing Dr. Fate stuff. That part of this movie I think I'm excited for. It's the Black Adam part I'm not as excited for. But, like, Dr. Fate's pretty cool. Hawkman's pretty cool.
They're cramming so many people in. Also, who's like not Ant-Man, but the same
Oh,
guy.
Atom Smasher? Yeah.
Adam Smasher.
Noah
Yeah, he's gonna be
Centineo, the one that the little kids love from some fucking Netflix movies or something.
Also, Black Adam, Adam Smasher. Like, I know they're different,
That's
but
true. Yeah, that'll definitely be a funny bit where they go like, Adam, come here, and they both look at each other and like, me?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna smash you, Black Adam. And he's
Yeah.
like, no, it's Adam with a D. And Adam Smash will be like, oh no, I'm powerless.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this was the thing that people thought Superman might show up in. And he might. I don't know. They booed The Rock when he said he's not sure.
wait, really?
Yeah, they asked The Rock. They were like, "Hey, is Superman?" I don't know. I don't know if he said is Superman going to be in this or like could the Black Adam beat Superman? And The Rock was like, "I'm not sure. It depends on who's playing Superman." And a lot of them booed him, which is not how you want these panels to go. But
I mean-
Do you think The Rock heard that and he's like, what is that? I don't understand.
I mean, typically,
it's been 20 years since people have booed me.
Black Adam is typically a Shazam antagonist. In fact, they have the same source of their powers.
Yes.
Well, yes and no. Sometimes he has different gods that make his powers that are like
Yeah,
the Egyptian
his-
ones of those.
Yeah,
but yeah,
his are the Egyptian gods because he's from Kandak.
yeah.
But it's the same idea.
Yeah, and they both have the lightning bolts on their chest and stuff. His is a little dustier because he's an anti-hero, but it's the same basic
Well,
concept.
that's probably the next movie, right? Like, that's what we'll get.
Is it though? Like, I don't see how. These characters don't seem like they can exist in the same movie in a way that's interesting.
I know, but it's like literally their jobs.
Yeah.
Like, how are we... It would be like taking a character like Miss Marvel's powers and changing them.
Right? Or her
Making them all
origin and
different
changing
weird.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be impossible.
Can't do that.
I don't know. I feel like he would kill all those kids pretty quickly. I don't think they'd really be able to fight him very well.
The power dynamic is going to change forever.
That's
so.
true.
Yeah,
you think he's going to be a good guy by the end of this movie?
No, they can't do that.
He's still going to be...
Fuck.
He's still going to be an anti-hero.
Anti-hero.
He'll be like, I saved the day, but I'm still dark and brooding, and sometimes I'll kill a man. And
Yeah.
Dr. Fate and the rest of the Justice Society will be like, we don't agree with your methods, Black Adam, but damn it if you don't get results.
Yeah. And Hawkman will be like, actually, I'm doing his thing now, because that's kind of closer to what I'm usually like in the comics. And we'll all be like, that makes sense. You have a big mace. How do you not kill people with a big mace? You know?
Very
all the rest
carefully.
of them might get. Yeah, right? Just bonk him on the head with the handle. I don't know. Yeah, it looks great. So things that weren't at this panel. Obviously, a certain super criminal in his own right, a certain anti-hero, or maybe just straight up villain. No Flash stuff. No Ezra Miller.
I think they're like in deep training for the role because they're on the run.
That's true. Oh, that's a good point. Although they did show up in the Shazam trailer very briefly.
Yeah, they mentioned them. Like, are they allowed to do that?
Yeah, it's very strange. But yeah, none of that. No Peacemaker, which is getting a second season, which I thought was weird.
Mm-hmm.
That I very much expected. People
Well,
like
I
it.
don't-
One too.
I don't need a trailer. Like, I love that first season so much. I'm just going to watch that second season.
Oh, sure. I don't think you need a trailer necessarily, at least for everything. I just think you need to have the guys get up and go, hey, it's me from the show you all like, and everybody cheers, and they go, we're making another one, and everybody cheers, and then you leave. Like, just to kind of remind fans what you're into. Because that's what they did at most of the Marvel stuff. Some of it got trailers, but a lot of it was just like, remember this guy is going to be in something.
Easy pop.
But, you got...
Yeah, the biggest news from Marvel wasn't even trailers. It was all...
Yeah, that's
shit.
true. It was like titles of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, they also...
Yeah?
I'm
I
just
was gonna say-
excited about titles.
Cool.
There were some good ones, but there were no titles here for any future, like no Superman stuff, no Batman stuff, just insane, no Wonder Woman stuff, even though that character is considered like consistently liked, you know, and that actress hasn't done any. Well, I don't know. We'll see about her.
Depends on where you land.
No Aquaman stuff, which I think is weird because that movie is supposed to be coming out the end of this year, or beginning of next year. I think it got pushed, but like it's still like a movie that you'd think they'd want to promote. It's not like there's another one of these in a couple of weeks, or maybe there is. I don't know. Maybe they are doing a Fandomi. No Batgirl. That one I think is either early next year or end of this year, and no Blue Beetle, and that's another thing that they're filming. Also, no DC Dwayne Johnson League of Super Pets. A movie that's out like tomorrow.
Well, that movie comes out. Yeah, I was going to say, that's so close. It's like, what's the point?
You'll barely be home. You'll barely be home from Comic-Con before you... And between coming from Comic-Con and finding out you have COVID, you'll barely have time to watch the movie.
That's true. You won't be in the window to go out and... I mean, you could still go to theaters with COVID. Who's going to stop you? That's the rules now.
Certainly not the government.
You don't have to show your vaccine card. You have to show your COVID test, positive COVID test, or you can't go in. Yeah, none of that stuff, which is weird. People didn't really like this panel because it didn't show very much new stuff or stuff at all. And I think they're probably mostly right. Speaking of things that aren't really new, they're making another Game of Thrones show, you guys.
Whoa!
House of the Dragon.
I'm excited. I'll tell you what.
About the Targaryen Civil War, the Dance of the Dragons.
I see
A
people
movie
say
that isn't, or a book that isn't about the one we all really fucking care about.
Yeah. People say this looks good.
I mean,
the trailer.
HBO trailers can trick you very easily.
That's true.
Argue. Like, they have a special skill for, like, yo, this shit's gonna be blah, 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 blah. And it turns out it's like, So.
Yeah, I do think the Game of Thrones aesthetic is kind of dead for me. This, like, really washed out, everything's really dark and...
Yeah.
I don't know, especially with Lord of the Rings and the Dungeons and Dragons show this year, or movie, like with trailers. It's like, fantasy doesn't have to look like this.
Do you think there's any chance there could be a Better Call Saul effect with this, where it's like it turns out that the sequel is better than the sequel prequel is better than the original?
Absolutely, it can't be worse.
Yeah.
Like, Game of Thrones is one of the worst shows. Like, it's got I have such a negative taste in my mouth. Even if this is just average, it'll be better than that.
Yeah.
As long as the ending doesn't invalidate every single thing that came before it, I think everyone will be like, all right.
Yeah. And, I mean, this one, hypothetically, could never end. Like, they could do 50 seasons of this if they want. And they could just start re-airing Game of Thrones seasons if they catch up. But, like, the other one, they were just like, well, we're out of story, and it ends in one book, so this last season. And they... Yeah. Yeah, that didn't... It looked okay. I mean, it looked fine. There was some Star Trek stuff. Didn't really... I don't watch Star Trek. Neither of you guys do, right?
No, not really.
Not even kinda.
I hear Lower Decks is good, the one that's cartoon.
The comedy?
Yeah, and then I also hear Strange New Worlds is very good. Then there's Picard, the one that is like their kind of flagship thing now. At least the only thing they really... That was the thing they really talked about at this. That's the one I hear is not as good. But it's got all the old guys back, like Spider-Man, so that means it's good. Speaking of like Spider-Man, there was a Sandman trailer, you guys.
Sandman,
that's classic Spider-Man villain, is back.
Yeah, I cannot wait.
It looks, what do you think about this?
Sandman, I'm excited.
Yeah, who's the person, like, the showrunner? Like, have they done anything before? Notable?
The showrunner is, I believe, is a Mr. Neil Gaiman, who wrote it.
Oh, is he really show running it?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, yeah, not the like creator. I mean, like the actual showrunner.
I mean, he could do it, but I don't.
Let me do some googling.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. But
that comes out like soon, right?
Oh, it might be. It might be Neil Gaiman.
5th. I think it is because he does do show running.
Yeah, I think he is doing it. That's an interesting sign.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's directing it?
No, that's a different one. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, right. Sorry. Yeah, this is
It's weird how that happened, but I think that was originally the plan, and then it got dumped. But it's still online a lot. But
yeah, it looks like it is. All right, cool. It should be great then if Neil Gaiman's like in charge.
We saw some clips. I think the clips look about what you'd want from this, aesthetically and stuff.
I think it was a weird decision to not get Thomas Hayden Church back to be the main character. Yeah,
that's true. I know a lot of people fan casted John Cena as Sandman, so maybe they'll get him to do a cameo. I just want a scene like in Spider-Man 3 where he picks up his classic shirt and holds it in front of the camera for like a full second, just so we all know he's putting it on. Like, amazing scene. They showed a little bit of Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer in this. She looked cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I liked all the looks we got at. I mean, if you've read the comics,
and DJ has, he's got them all.
They like every image they showed is like, oh, I remember when that happened. I remember that happened. It seems like it's going to be very faithful.
Yeah, so that's cool. I'm looking forward to that. It's coming really soon, right? That's like also
August 5th.
Yeah. So, and it's Netflix, so it'll just be that week. All of it'll come out, and then we'll all forget about it. So,
yep, exactly.
Got to really get that going.
I feel like I don't know, Nando. I have this feeling that you're gonna like the Corinthian in that show.
Is that the one that David Thewlis is? Or is that a different guy?
I don't think it's David Thewlis.
Because I know David Thewlis is in it.
In the
Head
trailer,
and body.
He's the sunglasses guy in the trailer.
Oh, that's Boyd Holbrook's guy from whatchamacallit, from Logan and stuff. Yeah, he looks fun. I probably will like him. I liked him in Logan. I feel like I saw him something else recently. It was in The Predator. Got
The
another one of
Predator.
those coming out really soon,
Yeah,
too. Did they have
the
anything?
Predator, but like 18th century or whatever.
Prey.
Yeah.
I don't think that there was a trailer at this, though.
I guess like they don't need to, but I would like to see that like I think that's one of those things like DC League of Super Pets where it's not that I need to see a trailer. I just would like to be reminded that it exists. But yeah, yeah, it was pretty cool. But then okay, you guys. Then they went and did some. Oh wait, actually, there was a little thing before the Marvel stuff. You guys watch that show Mythic Quest?
Nope.
No.
Okay, never mind. So I don't watch it either, but it is coming out. But then the Marvel stuff. You guys, they showed everything, and it was pretty good.
They showed us the full hog.
The full hog. Yep. They really did do the Comic-Con equivalent of hanging dong, as as some Mythic Quest characters would say. But we got a lot of stuff. I don't know what order to go in besides the one they showed it, but I was like on Twitter during this, so I remember kind of watching them talk about stuff and get excited for things. So I want to just ask this. How about this? What do you guys remember from this, coming out of this, that you liked the most, or like what left the biggest impression on you? Can be a trailer, could be a title for a thing. It doesn't matter.
God,
That's really tough. Like, what left the biggest impression on me from all of the announcements?
Yeah. And keep in mind there were a million, so
Like,
probably when
cop out.
Mr.
Diggins.
Bridgerton walked into the crowd as the High Evolutionary.
wait, is that Mr. Bridgerton? No, that's
I
not
don't
Mr.
think
Bridgerton.
so. That's not
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Bridgerton.
No, that's Mr. Peacemaker, the guy who is a
Yes.
bug in the beginning.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I like it when they do that. I do. I appreciate that The Rock did that too, when you show up in your costume and, ham it up a little bit. Yeah, that was the Guardians. They did have a Guardians of the Galaxy panel that was pretty good. They showed a trailer that we didn't see, but it was mostly just like footage of them and Baby Rocket Raccoon, and then this guy, who is probably the bad guy.
Really, you think the guy wearing a big purple costume named the High Evolutionary might be the bad guy?
Yeah, I'm just just guessing, just based
Get a
off
feel
of
for it.
I don't know. I didn't get good vibes from him. I do like that he has a big old costume. Good. I like that actor.
Yeah, he's good in Peacemaker.
Yeah. Did let's see. What about you, DJ? What did you love so much?
I mean, it's hard not to. You know what? I'll say the Fantastic Four, that they just like put it out there that it is in fact going to exist, like officially. I feel like that left like the biggest impact because there's so many questions surrounding that one. Like
how many of them
Kang,
will there be?
Mm-hmm.
Will John Krasinski be one of them?
What adjective would you use to describe them?
Yeah,
Obviously delicious.
that's true.
So wait, you think Mary Elizabeth Winstead's going to be Sue Storm?
You heard it here
That'd
first,
be
guys.
hell casting.
Well, to be fair, apparently, according to rumors, they have not cast any of them yet. There's some people they're in talks with, but they've at least as of like last week, there's nobody that is cast. Apparently, they have a Doctor Doom because he might make a cameo in something before that, but
Probably
no one knows
the
who that is
post-credit
yet.
scene of Black Panther 2.
Yeah, almost certainly. But that might be happening. If that is happening, then we'll have to know who that is by the end of the year, or at least have a guess. But yeah, we have no idea when we're going to find out who the Fantastic Four are. Just insane, kind of. I don't know. Maybe D23. They'll tell us. But yeah, they made it a million shows, you guys. There's a list of them. It's like so many. I wish I could just find the picture. But
Who's ready for Echo?
we're finally
my
getting Echo,
God.
you guys.
Can we... Yeah, if we're doing... What were you, anti-hype for? What was the...
Oh God!
What was the announcement that immediately put you to sleep? It was that there's going to be an Echo show.
I'm most worried about Daredevil, honestly. That's the one that I'm like, uh-oh. Something
that's it.
about that feels
Well,
wrong.
I'm not worried about an Echo show. This is, what makes me anti-hype.
Oh, my anti-hype is Agatha in the House of Harkness or whatever, Coven of Harkness.
we love her or whatever.
Like, I don't think that's a good idea, and it's probably going to be a bad show, but at least there's a kernel of I cared about that character in the show she's from.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Which Echo does not have.
What if this Echo show is just about Kingpin recovering in the hospital from getting shot in the head, and we just get to see how that happens, and it's like, that's kind of interesting. Kind of like that show, The Nick, where it's just surgery.
Yeah, what if it's like, it turns out that she shot like a random rat that was coming up, and actually they talked out their problems, and now they're going on adventures together?
Probably will be it.
Her and Kingpin, yeah.
Yeah, almost certainly.
Didn't they say that show's going to be 18 episodes long?
They did say that. Which
God.
Is
possible.
They forgot that we said 8. Just 8. They heard it wrong. And they heard 18.
I sincerely hope, if Echo is the longest Marvel show yet... That's...
Oh, no, Daredevil.
Yeah,
no, Daredevil. Oh,
that would be crazy, though, if Echo is...
And
long.
Daredevil will probably be an Echo, although I don't think that's been confirmed. It might have been, actually.
Daredevil's in everything now, like we said.
Yeah, that's the rules.
Charlie Cox just shows up in everything to be like, hello, remember me? I'm going to be in my own thing eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, Echo's a tough one to get psyched for. I'm trying to think of what else in this list. I mean, Ironheart's the other one, I guess, that, like, we haven't even met her yet, so it's like...
Yeah.
We will in November.
Falls off the radar, yeah.
The potential of what it could be, I guess, gives you a little bit of hope. Whereas, like, a thing like Echo is like, wait, I saw this and I don't like it. It's like the Moon Knight cartoon. Like, come on.
I'm ready to make a really bold prediction about Echo.
Yes.
I think she's going to be revealed to be a mutant, too. I think that's going to be their hook for getting us excited about her. Because I think that's just what they're going to do with characters now.
So
they're like, that one could have been a mutant, too.
What will be the TT-duh?
What's that?
The time to da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, that's true. I think it'll also be in the last episode. I think maybe that kid will show up, little Brian or whatever, will show up and be like, by the way, Echo, I've recognized your DNA has something very similar to what's her name's DNA, and it's mutation like, and then they'll go da-na-na-na-na.
Wait, did you intentionally use the name that Cameron calls him that's wrong? Or
No,
did you
it's
actually
been so
think...
long I forgot.
His name's Bruno.
It is Bruno, isn't it? Yeah.
You remember because we don't talk about him.
That's right. Well, the other thing about Echo, because she's not a super consequential character in the comics, usually, although now she is currently the avatar of the Phoenix Force. And she's not a mutant, but she just has that anyway, because they just give it to anybody these days.
Well, you don't have to be a mutant to have the Phoenix Force. The Phoenix Force is just like some alien shit.
Like, you don't, but it seems to like mutants more than other people, because it's kind of tied
because
to, like...
they're better.
Well, yeah, absolutely Homo superior, but also it's tied to, like, the idea of like, mutation and furthering life in a way that the mutants are. It's kind of the anti-Galactus sometimes, and that's...
I gotta say, it was, like... Whatever scientists decided that the new species that mutants are should be called Homo superior, really playing into Magneto's hands.
I don't know how they ever did that, or how that was ever actually explained. I wouldn't be surprised if Magneto is just like, I came up with this great idea, you guys. We're going to call it Homo superior. Everybody just went, all right, we don't want to do any work. That would be funny, though, if they said that. If Bruno was like, I think your DNA has something superior in it. Yeah.
Actually, wait. First it starts playing the Spider-Man sting.
Yeah.
And then it's like, wait, no, hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's my guess with Echo. That's the only thing. I don't even... Yeah, Daredevil might be in it. Maybe that guy. Did she kill that guy that she was in love with, maybe, from the last season?
I don't remember if she killed him. She definitely found out that he betrayed her.
Think Hawkeye will be in it?
Oh.
There's not really a place for him in this like, show slate. Obviously, he'll probably be in the Avengers stuff, but, like...
Obviously, he'll be in Hawkeye's 2, the sequel.
Yeah, right. A certain thing that's definitely coming out. Yeah, I don't know. Well, enough talk about those three things we're not super excited about. I mean, Ironheart's probably going to be fine. Let's talk about the things that we're marginally excited about to very excited about, in the order that they are on this page. First of all, we got She-Hulk. Yeah. the gray man and his cousin. Sometimes he is gray. They're making a She-Hulk show, you guys. That also comes out in like a week and a half, August 17th. Yeah. They had a new trailer. I don't think they announced anything new besides that we knew Wong was in it before, but now we know.
Well, Wong's also he's the glue. Him and Charlie Cox are the glue holding the MCU together right now.
It's fair. And they're both in this. So there you go. Mm-hmm. That means
so She-Hulk's going to be the most important thing in Phase 4.
Probably. Jim, what'd you guys think of this trailer?
I like the trailer generally. I think it does, like you and I were talking before about how we want it to be kind of wackier comedy kind of thing. And I feel like this is leaning in that direction. She does a fourth wall break at one point. The Wrecking Crew is there. She's going to be a lawyer handling superhero stuff. All good. I do think the CGI still looks quite bad.
Yeah.
I think they fixed the CGI, except for hands.
I think it's better. I think it still looks kind of... Like, there's just sometimes where I look at the faces of the Hulks, and I'm like, ugh.
That's just Mark Ruffalo for you. It's unfair.
Well, yeah, that's just him. Mark Ruffalo's just a very ugly man.
Apparently.
Again, as we talked about with that news article, this is not the artist's fault. This is Marvel asking for changes all the time and working them to death. But still, I think the look is still rough.
Also, I feel like there's a big so what with this show.
Yeah,
it's is this going to change? Is this going to change the power dynamic in the MCU forever?
I don't care if anything changes the power dynamic of the MCU. In fact, I prefer that it doesn't. If it's just a silly little show about She-Hulk doing lawyer stuff, I think that would be perfect.
Doing lawyer stuff and having sex with guys in the bed is broken when she leaves the room.
She's got to break at least one bed.
I mean, she does break a bed in the trailer, to be fair, when she wakes up real hard, but yeah.
Yeah, but no, the bed has to break because of her powerful lovemaking.
Are they going to imply that people have sex?
I mean, perhaps. She carries that guy into the bedroom in that other trailer, unless it's to tuck him in after a hard night's work of, fighting crime.
In this trailer, she's kind of, on top of a guy on a couch, like they're about to do it.
I think they will. I think this will be the sexiest thing the MCU has made in terms of, just saying that the characters have sex. I feel like they're going for that. Until Marvel Zombies, obviously, of course, but...
If you just used sexy generally, you, of course, would think that's Iron Man 2 because it has Justin Hammer in it.
That's right, yeah. And perhaps other stuff in the future, but nothing at Comic-Con because they're cowards. But, yeah, I think the show looks terrific, and I think it's going to be my favorite thing in this phase, honestly.
Don't count your chickens before the last episode is hatched.
I know. Yeah. Well, this one, first of all, this one's 9, which is interesting.
It's 9?
Well, they're shorter. They're 30 minutes. Because that's how TV shows work.
I like that.
I do too. I feel like a 8 and 9 are the right number for these. But specifically for this, where it's kind of episodic and there's little cameos of the week.
Right.
I love the look of the She-Hulk in some of the shots. I think she looks good in most of them. The only actual shot that bugged me VFX wise is the one where she holds her hands up when she's talking to Wong, and they kind of come into frame. I feel like they look weird, but yeah, I like all of her friends. I like Titania, seeming to be what's that guy's name? Ric Flair type professional wrestler.
Yeah, right.
That's an interesting vibe for her, and. What else was there in the trailer that was good? And then Daredevil shows up at the end, so it's good.
Oh, we love him.
Wearing a suit that's yellow, so that's fun.
Not fully yellow, blind. He can't dress himself.
Yeah, nobody told him. And that's great. I mean, do you think there will be... How much interaction do you think will happen between those two characters? Do you think they'll go to court?
Could they go against each other? Do they practice different law or no?
I mean, they practice the same.
Are they both defense people?
They're both defense. Yeah, neither of them are prosecutors.
Never mind. He takes one day off. He's like, I want to prosecute.
Yeah, they've gone against each other before in the past, though. I'm sure they could figure out a way.
They could go against each other in a civil suit because she seems to be just like a corporate lawyer.
That's true. Most of her suits are civil suits. only every so often they have to get somebody out of jail, but a lot of the times it's like, you broke my restaurant. Judge Judy kind of... Well, not a lot of the time, but sometimes. Yeah, I think they probably will. And that's great. Because I think it'd be super weird if they brought the two lawyers that did the show to fight and not do law. But we'll see. Speaking of green people, next on the list, Secret Invasion. They're making a Secret Invasion show, you guys. That one's coming out next year.
Who's a
finally,
Skrull? Everybody?
Finally, Nando will be proven wrong when Rhodey's not a Skrull.
Yeah.
Insane that he got announced as like the only new cast member for the show. He's definitely right. Like, there's no way. What's the point if not just to personally anger me?
Yes, that.
I mean, yeah, I think I'm dead right on this, but because otherwise it's nobody, right? Like, because the only other character they recommend or they cast in this that isn't already a Skrull, like Ben Mendelsohn and stuff, is Kobe Smulders, who's also already a Skrull, kind of, right? Because she is one of the ones from the Spider-Man movie. So, yeah, I feel like there's no way he's not a Skrull. So that's fun, isn't it?
It's going to be that it turns out Tony Stark is a Skrull. The Tony Stark who died is a Skrull. And the real Tony Stark never had character development and is still kind of a dick.
Just rolling around in bed with that woman still.
Yep.
Letting her free every so often and do a little bit of news stuff for YouTube, but mostly just that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The show has some... It has interesting people. It's got Olivia Colman. It's got Emilia Clarke. It doesn't have the Bridgerton guy, even though one of the press releases says it did. That's pretty much it, though. It's just those guys. And somebody else, Kingsley something. I don't know who that is. But, yeah.
Yeah. I remember he has a name. He has quite a name.
He does have a name. I didn't assume he was from Bridgerton when they said the Bridgerton guy, but I was like, it's about right. Kingsley might be one of the names of the characters on Bridgerton.
Kingsley Benadir.
Yeah. Which gotta be weird, because there's already a Ben Kingsley, right? Like, So this guy's got most of that guy's name, plus some other stuff. That's fun. Did you guys anybody see the One Night in Miami show or movie?
Nope.
I hear it's pretty good. But yeah, I don't know too much about him. Yeah, this show's gonna be probably fine. What is next? Ant-Man. They made an Ant-Man 3, you guys. They showed some footage of this. So we got Scott Lang, Evangeline Lilly, just taking a break from the caravan protesters, and then the daughter, who they swapped out in one of the movies for the other one. I don't remember who she is. I think she's from 13 Reasons Why. I could be wrong about that. And then what's his name? Jonathan Majors showed up for this. Kang is in it.
Yeah.
It seems like a weird place for him to start, but sure. Like,
yeah, I guess they really want to establish him before it's like, the Kang dynasty. What's
well,
that?
they heard that I really hated the ending of Loki, and so they wanted to put everything I dislike about the MCU in a single movie.
Well, it's weird too because it's like, it's like if they put like, I don't know, it's like if they put Thanos in. The first time we saw Thanos was in Ant-Man 1. Be like, if Ant-Man beats Kang in this, I don't know what we got to worry about.
Well, I doubt that's how that shakes out, right?
That'd be pretty wild. Just beats him up and kills him, and then
maybe it'll be like a certain movie we might talk about a little later, where sometimes people will say there's a bigger guy behind all of this, and his name is Kang. And then by the end of the movie, we kind of forgot that we ever talked about him.
Yeah. Well, there is also, I mean, the villain of this is also MODOK, apparently. However,
a bullshit MODOK.
So we'll see. I think that's true. However, I can see a world where he's wearing a helmet because the character that's playing, or like the actor that's playing MODOK, and the character that is kind of a like surprise, maybe that people would want to be surprised by. So it's like maybe that's something they're trying to keep hidden. Although there's no way they will. So I could see hiding his face until then. Like, until, like, maybe, I don't know, halfway through when someone accidentally breaks it. And it's like, you? But, yeah, that MODOK is in it. It looks weird. What's his name's in it, too? Bill Murray's in this as Garfield.
Oh,
Yeah, Keeper of the Quantum Realm.
Oh
like-
God, I wish that was true.
What I've heard from this is that it's mostly about a not multiverse, microverse. What's this called? Quantum Realm. War going on between what's his name, Garfield, who is maybe a good guy or maybe a bad guy, I don't know, and then Kang, who's definitely a bad guy, and MODOK is on Kang's team for this. Maybe, I don't know. So that it also has the little daughter Stinger. So it's fun. I don't know. It's fine. Guardians 3. That's another one, you guys. Very excited about that.
James Gunn's
Yeah.
it's gonna be his finale as part of the MCU.
Probably going to be the best one of these, just because it's a Guardians of the Galaxy one. Seems to be the rule.
Yeah, I mean, the other two Guardians movies are some of the best ones. So
Yeah.
they haven't changed the creative team, so I'm not that worried. I think it's going to be good.
Me too. It's got little baby Rocket Raccoon. Seems like it's going to be Rocket Raccoon's origin in it a little bit, because he's probably tied to the High Evolutionary. It also seems like, from what I've heard, this is the last one of these for most of these actors, which I wouldn't buy, except they all seem to hate it now. Or not all of them, but a bunch of them. So I kind of buy it. And that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the one thing we're gonna be learning with this. So, okay, by the time we get to whatever, phase 6, when we're at the end of the things that you're gonna announce, right? It'll be almost 20 years of this shit, which is fucking crazy to think about. First of all, that's
Yeah.
fucking insane. But also, you could only keep these people here for so long.
Yeah.
That's why this has never happened before, right? Because at some point you just need to, all right, it's all the new stuff now. So I'm not terribly surprised. But yeah, it's crazy how long they've been doing this shit.
Do you think
Fucking
after
crazy.
they inevitably kill Drax, 10 minutes into the movie or something, but then Star-Lord and the Rocket Raccoon later, that they'll have a new Guardians of the Galaxy led by the B-Team or something? Adam Warlock and the Mantis and stuff, maybe? I feel like this is too valuable of a brand for them to give up on.
Yeah, but that's the other thing, too. It's if it's not James Gunn, because James Gunn's not going to do this anymore, then... Ugh.
Yeah, I
I mean, they might not be
the-
good, but that won't stop them from making them.
The brand. The thing about the brand of the Guardians of the Galaxy is it's entirely premised on the fact that the first movie was really good and people didn't think it would be. So,
Yeah.
if the movie stopped being good, I feel like it doesn't have legs.
That's true. I mean, I do think now Groot has reached minion status so that he can kind of carry a franchise for a while. I think they're also going to... I know they're putting in... Borat's daughter is playing Cosmo, the super dog who can read your mind and stuff in this.
Yeah.
By having a voice, I assume. And maybe crawling around the floor in some ping pong balls. That'd be fun. But, so maybe that will be... Maybe they'll have another fun animal mascot, and that'll be enough for people to be like, we're definitely going to keep this going.
And if
Yeah.
they're not cowards, then that will be an eventual lead-in to the Howard the Duck movie.
Yeah, they need him in one of these. That one.
I mean, he's
probably-
in the post-credits of Guardians 1?
Oh, yeah. He's fighting in the Endgame fight, if you really, really zoom in on one guy. So, I mean, they need him as a full character in one of these.
Absolutely.
And besides, She-Hulk is the obvious place for him, because in the comics he's become a private investigator that works with her sometimes. But this is the other one, because he's been in those movies. But yeah. Who do you think dies in this movie?
I actually think kill Star-Lord. I think that might make a lot of sense.
I don't think
As
they
crazy
will.
as that sounds.
No.
He seems done.
They don't want to make you feel bad by killing the guy you like.
I think they do. And I also think he wants to just make shitty Amazon movies now.
Yeah. He may have asked, hey, can we kill
About-
you, please?
Yeah.
Shitty Amazon movies about respecting the troops.
Yeah, exactly. But it's okay, guys. All the things you didn't like about him are actually not true. And he's actually
good,
pretty
good.
cool.
Oh, okay. I was worried.
I think they kill Star-Lord. I think they kill Rocket for sure. Although,
Rocket, I could see. Rocket, I could see.
See, Rocket traditionally in the comics has a little girlfriend named Lila, I think. And I could see him and her, like him rescuing her from the High Evolutionary. Maybe that's where she is. And then just them leaving to, like, be happy together. I think Drax is a goner because he hates this now, for sure. Mm-hmm. And his story's kind of over now that Thanos is dead. And I think Nebula's also dead, for sure.
Yeah.
Means it's just going to be Mantis and Groot in that like ship for a while. It's fun. I don't know. It'll probably be great. Let's skip the next thing on the list for a while, or on a different list. Echo, we talked about. Loki Season 2 got announced.
Let's go.
Yeah, they're filming it now, so they weren't there to, like, be there. I don't think we learned anything new about it. So that'll be good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were just like, we're making it.
Yeah. They're also still making a Blade movie. That starts filming soon, probably. Still got Mahershala. There's rumors that Anthony Starr, Homelander's own, is going to be in there. Not sure as who. The obvious choice is Dracula, but it also seems maybe a little early for Dracula. But also, that's never stopped them before. So
that's true.
He'd be a good Dracula. I'm kind of hoping for Vampire Hunter Man, Ulysses Bloodstone or something. But he might be in something else, which we'll talk about. Got Ironheart. We'll talk about that probably later. Agatha Covenant of Darkness, or Covenant of Chaos. They changed the name for some reason. Daredevil Born Again. We talked about that. Oh, Captain America. There's a new one of those.
New World Order.
New World Order. The wrestlings, right? That's wrestling, guys?
Yeah, let's talk about it as a wrestling thing and not the other thing it could be.
Well, it's weird because, like, yeah, the first episode of the show was called New World Order as well. I can't imagine they're related, but, like, what do you think
they were
this
like,
movie's...
well, we messed that up, so let's try again.
What do you think this movie's going to be about?
I could not tell you.
A New World Order, probably.
I think it's going to be about Wong. I think it's going to show up. Wong and Daredevil, probably, mostly, but yeah.
Is there, like, a Captain America story that's called New World Order?
No,
preferably a really bad one from, like, the early 2000s, because that seems to be the ones they love making stuff out of.
There's some Captain America story. There's one called, like, Fallen Sons, I think, that's pretty good. Well, actually, no, that might be what they did after Death of Captain America. There's a new one, and it's not about Falcon, but it's still, like, I could see that. What is it called? Winter... It's not called Winter Soldier. It was by Ta-Nehisi Coates. He wrote a Captain America book, which I actually really like. I think is one of the best ones that they've made recently. And it's kind of about, like, soldiers and stuff. So maybe that? I don't know. But, yeah. Winter in America, that's what it's called. I don't know. It'll probably be, what's his name's daughter, right? The Red Skull's daughter. That's a bad guy. They could show up, try to make a new world order.
The
Doesn't
Red
matter.
Skullette.
Yeah, exactly. Pink Skull. That would be what they would call her in the olden days. But she's new, so they call her Sin. What about Thunderbolts, you guys? They're making a Thunderbolts thing.
Okay, so here's my thing with this. It's kind of weird. I feel like they're announcing this with just, like, no idea. Not no idea, but with very little content of what it's going to be. Like, okay, it's the thing that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is working on, and it's going to be Zemo and the bad Captain America and, you know, fucking Black Widow's sister and whoever else they could cobble up to put together. But, like...
Wong, Daredevil, but go on.
But, like, I don't know, man. Like, what is there to be excited for here? They're just kind of throwing it out there.
And you already said it. All the things we already know.
Yeah.
Those guys from old stuff.
There's a guy, you see them, and you're like, I know who they are, and then you clap when you see it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Again, it's another one of these things, kind of like Black Adam, where it's like, we've already done anti-heroes in this universe. That's what the Guardians of the Galaxy were for a while.
Right.
Especially formerly jailed anti-heroes. So, like, I don't know what this is. But
I think what worries me about it is that everything I saw about it, the person kept saying, like, the Suicide Squad of the Marvel Universe. And I'm like, That's not really what Thunderbolts is, and the fact that you're calling me that makes me think it's going to be a pale imitation.
Well, it's kind of become that, though. That's the trouble with Thunderbolts. The idea of Thunderbolts in the or in Marvel Comics. There's two pitches for Thunderbolts. The first one is superheroes pretending to be villains to get money and, whatever. Whatever it is they want to do. I don't even know. Rob Banks, maybe get friends. And then General Ross had a team of villains that he called the Thunderbolts that kind of were a Suicide Squad, led by Daredevil, Punisher, or not Daredevil, well, in this, but like Punisher, Deadpool, Elektra, I think, was on it for a while, Red Hulk, and he's dead now in real life, so I don't know if he's going to be in it. I do think it's going to be hard to come up with a reason to name this Thunderbolts, but it'll probably be just some file he had or something. But, I have to imagine they're going to be a Suicide Squad.
I mean, probably no one's ever even going to use the word Thunderbolts in the entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
In the third one, someone will say it.
So then why call them that? I worry that we're reaching like the not fuck it phase, but like running out of ideas phase of the MCU. It can never get as good as Endgame. So now we're just going. It can
never get as good as a movie that was pretty bad.
It can never be as good as Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Can never be as good as that. We peaked. Maybe that's why they made those shows, to just get our expectations real low again, so then they can make movies that we like.
A good trick by them.
I mean, this one also is confusing to me because it's like you were saying, like if it's Val Fontaine or whatever, she's Val Cooper, because Val Cooper is the character in the comics who assembles the evil kind of Suicide Squad of mutants, and that's what this character is, but they just can't call her that because they didn't have the X-Men yet, or maybe they did, I forget. But the idea of Thunderbolts, like, okay, so evil Captain America, sure. Zemo, he hates that guy. I don't see how those two are working on a team together.
Right?
Yelena has already learned that Val lied to her about Hawkeye and is now kind of probably a free agent, so
yep.
I don't see where she's involved. So then I guess you got Ghost, who's alive. God, I don't know. What other villains are still alive? Justin Hammer, maybe, if he's still in jail, although he doesn't actually have skills, so why bother? See, they seem like they might put new guys in. I don't know. It'll be great. Fantastic Four, we already kind of talked about this. This is coming, isn't it?
So, okay. Feige apparently said it's not going to be an origin story because people already know it. So, I have an idea, but what's your guys' like best idea for what the movie is?
Daredevil and Wong meet a team of adventurers from the past. I don't know. I think I don't know. Because if it's not an origin story, then it is kind of like, well, where are they? Why haven't we heard of them for a while?
Because this is going to take place in another universe, and this is how we're going to get like the lead into Secret Wars, where the Fantastic Four come to the MCU, and they're like, Battle World bitches, or like, we're fighting now bitches.
That is an option.
That would be my best guess, because how else do you get people to like ramp up for Secret Wars if it's not like, well, there's stakes and here's why you should care?
At the word Avengers,
assuming
probably.
We're not at the fucking stage. Well,
yeah. I don't know. Do you think it'll be John Krasinski then, in a puddle, in like a bucket or whatever?
Well, it could be a different universe, right?
Yeah.
Just,
maybe they could bring back the first group. I think the first group is pretty good. The second one we all don't like, and it's bad.
Wait, like Jessica Alba and all them?
Why not? Young Gruffin, Jessica Alba, Chris Evans again.
I really want Chris Evans to be the Human Torch. I think it would be so funny.
That'd be great. He was good as Human. Both of the Human Torches were pretty good. I could see it. I don't know. I mean, I guess...
How old is Michael Chiklis?
Oh, what does... I don't know. Is that one they'll probably be all CGI anyway? Because that's how these work now. So, yeah, I don't know. I think they could do a CGI thing and it would look good. They just have to do a good job. But also...
Right, well, how old is like the guy who played fucking Reed Richards? Like, he's got to be in the 70s, right?
He's 70s? I mean, that movie came out maybe 15 years ago?
It was like 2002, closer to 20, right?
It was like 2005, maybe even.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think it was later. I'm pretty sure I was a
know.
teenager when those movies came out.
2005, and then the second one was 2007. Okay. I mean, he's on his old. He's he's 48 right now. So
that's like,
sorry, I made him 70.
That's like a normal Reed Richards age now.
Yeah.
He's not. He's typically depicted as being an older dude nowadays.
I'm surprised that he was like 30 when he played Reed Richards.
Yeah, I mean,
shit, he was our age when he played Reed Richards.
No, that's a lie.
What the fuck?
Never mind. Moving on. I think Chris Evans. The only thing with Chris Evans is I do think he's too old for Johnny Storm now. I don't mind.
Yeah,
but like I want a Johnny Storm who's Spider-Man's age, so they can hang out because they're supposed to be friends. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I could see them having gotten superpowers from the blip or something, or not from the blip, during the blip maybe, and we didn't hear about it. No, yeah, right, during the snip, right, the between times, and then they just show up and they're like, "We're the Fantastic Four," and some of the characters are like, "Wait, what?" And they're like, "You didn't hear about us," and then
it's weird because Doctor Strange was like, Fantastic Four, aren't you guys were big in the 60s or whatever, right? Like, didn't he say that?
I think he's making fun of how he's dressed.
Oh, yeah. No. It's actually even weirder. It's a cut to he says, didn't you chart in the 60s? So he's talking about a band called Mr. Fantastic from the 60s in our universe. Because remember, Doctor Strange loves obscure music.
Yes.
I thought that too when I heard it the first time, but I had to look it up.
I knew it was just a slam, just because the way he says it is obvious that he's just making fun of him for having a stupid name.
Yeah, that's how it works. Like a Voltagon.
Yeah, we can't listen. We can't possibly say a cartoon like a comic's name without making fun of it for being stupid. Yeah, comics are stupid garbage for nerds,
for babies.
Yeah,
baby nerds.
Except for Marvel Zombies, that's for adults only.
But
yeah.
So many nipples
because of Glenn Close's single boob.
Yeah, I have. The Fantastic Four, I don't even care who plays them. I mean, clearly, I have thoughts, but like, I think the director-writer of this is really important.
Didn't you make a whole video about it? Hold on.
Oh, yeah. But I think, like, kind of almost the point of the video is, like, I think there's a lot of guys it could be for most of these characters. Like, a lot of the fan casting I've seen, I've been like, hey, he could do it. Pretty much anybody but John Krasinski, I'm, like, okay with. But it's like, Peyton Reed was originally going to be the director of this, and then they swapped it out. And then John Watts was going to be the director of this, and he wanted to do a Star Wars movie. So I wonder who they eventually get. Like, did they get Brad Bird like we always wanted? Did they get Steven Spielberg like was a rumor that's definitely not true? But like, because that's going to shape what we get, I think. Sam Raimi could be fun. I'd like to bring him back for this.
I don't think they're going to do an already in-house MCU director. I think they get someone new.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. But,
tell me why so.
We will see.
Please.
Well, he'll be busy doing Secret Wars, so he probably can't do it. We also have Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, an Avengers movie about Kang. I actually haven't read the comic that this is kind of referencing. Let me look it up.
So I looked that up. So my one thing, they announced these two Avengers movies in 1 year, which seems crazy.
Absolutely insane.
But like, who... Like, the original, or even the first three Avengers movies. Like, we knew, when you said the Avengers, like, it was pretty clear who that was in reference to. But, like, what does that mean now?
All right,
like,
I've got
who
two.
were the Avengers?
Wong, Daredevil. Those for sure.
Okay. Cool.
And then nobody else. Those two mostly. I don't know.
But, like, really, it's like, it feels like this brand has, like, lost its identity. And, like, but... It's hard in movies, because in comics you could just have, like, another thing, and it's like, okay, just restart it wherever. You know the characters, not the actors. But this is so much, like, actor attachment that it's like, oh, well, no one else could be Iron Man ever again. It's only Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Which I get, but it makes it hard now. Like, I hear Avengers movie, I'm like, what does that mean?
I guess the question is, like, what is Kang Dynasty? Because part of me wonders, like, are these two... Is Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars going to be two different kinds of groups of Avengers? Or, like...
Yeah.
Because what I'm doubtful of is the idea that everybody in one is everybody in the other, right? So I could see, like, a movie where, like, Captain Falcon, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, kind of some of the newer ones do an Avengers themselves, and that's Kang Dynasty. And then Secret Wars is, like, the original War Machine that was just girl, Captain Marvel... Doctor Strange, and everybody that was in that first Avengers movie as well. But, like, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's, like, because they say Doctor Strange is kind of the linchpin of the universe now. So, like, and Wong, obviously, by proxy. So, like, who do they know? All their friends.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. It's probably going to be fine.
Just something to think about.
But then you got Secret Wars. That's the biggest one ever. Oh, my God. Incredible.
That's the one where it's like all the universes mashed together and Doctor Doom becomes God King, right?
So
there's two.
Yeah. Yes and no.
Well, I know
right?
the old Secret Wars I know is like Battle World. And,
yeah.
And where the symbiote comes from. But I assumed they were mostly basing this off of new Secret Wars.
I'm not so sure.
Probably.
I think it'll probably be closer to the first Secret Wars.
Oh, really?
Just because that's easier to contain. Like, I can't see Battle World.
I hope they have the Beyonder.
I think they will. I do. I think it will be
crazy.
that. Like, I think the Beyonder will show up, ideally played by Keanu Reeves, but, whoever's available. Oh, yeah, we did talk about John Wick. That wasn't on that list. We'll get to it. And then just be like, do a big fight. Because I feel like with the Victor Von Doom one, and I think Doom will be in it and, like, take his power like he does in the comics, but I feel like with the Hickman Secret Wars, it's kind of like that was fun because for a while, we got all kinds of weird mishmash Secret Wars, like stories where it was like all the Ghost Riders all together and all these guys together. And we can't do that in the shows because it requires too much coordination. So I feel like the one and done version of this is just everybody on Battle World fighting for the Beyonders, like for the fun of the Beyonder. And then they can still bring like Miles Morales or whoever they want from other universes into it. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be that much like the new one.
The Jonathan Hickman one?
Yeah, I think it'll be the original one.
Yeah, that's when you were referencing Diggins.
Yeah.
I know. I referenced both of them. I talked about the Beyonder, and Battle World and everything.
But, like, you think it would be the more recent one?
I would think so, because I feel like the old one is, like, both too goofy and too thin a premise to be, like, the capstone of... Because they said that's, like, the end of the phase, right?
Yeah, phase 6 or phase 2. The multiverse phase.
Whatever. I don't care.
Or yeah,
so,
Saga
like,
2.
So, like, Secret Wars, the first one, is just like, the Beyonder brought us all here, and he wants to watch some sick fights. Get to it. And that doesn't seem like very final to me.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with the Doom one, though, is, like, I think it's too big for a movie. I don't think you can do it in a movie. And also, like, the Doom one is... I don't know. I mean, I could see a movie that ends with Kang dying in the end of the last one, and then Doom stealing something from him, and then, like, pressing a button, and everybody wakes up in, Secret Wars world, like Battle World, and Doom is just like, I'm doing this now, fuck it. But I guess I guess the question is, are they fighting for the pleasure of the Beyonder, or is Doom God and has reshaped the whole world to his will? And I just don't think we have time for that second one. So, I don't know.
Not having time for it has never stopped them before. That's
true. I mean, in all honesty, it'll probably just be some Avengers movie called Secret Wars, kind of like Age of Ultron, where it's like it's nothing like the comic. Right. It just has the word Ultron because he's a guy you kind of recognize.
It'll really be like Secret Bar Fight.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that'll be, it'll probably be fine. I don't know if we have
How long... No, go ahead, Nando. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, we don't have their director for that, but I did forget to mention Daniel Dustin Craig from Shang-Chi is directing the Kang Dynasty one. What were you saying, DJ?
So speaking of Kang Dynasty, how long do you think his dynasty will be?
One guy.
One guy, okay.
Well, I bet it'll be like, I've been ruling the multiverse for years and years and years, but for more or less, you beat me and then you're good. And then that'll be it. Because I have to read that comic, though, because it is recent and it probably is fine. But I don't know. I don't usually read Avengers comics. They're usually not for me.
It's too much business.
Yeah, but I left out one thing. I left out Black Panther Wakanda Forever. This got a trailer. It got a whole bunch of people playing drums and stuff in the conference hall. All kinds of people were announced to be in it that we already knew, but they said their names for the first time, like Namor, the Submariner. And And this one got a trailer. It was kind of the last bit. What'd you guys think of this?
I have trouble imagining what Namor is going to be doing since Sue Storm won't be there for him to try to fuck.
I'll be trying to fuck somebody else. Maybe who's I guess who could he be trying to fuck in this?
Like we try to fuck like Shuri or Lupita Nyong'o's character or Okoye.
See, what's the fun in that though? Because they're all either single or I don't think Okoye is like into men. I forget if that's canon or not. But he needs to fully cuckold someone. That's all he gets joy out of.
That's true.
So maybe Martin Freeman guy. We don't know if he has a wife.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, first openly gay Marvel character is Namor. Yeah, I wonder. I don't know. What'd you guys think of this? It's got blue people underwater for the first time in the history of cinema.
Wow.
A month before Avatar. I'm so happy for them. I love it. I love that they're scooping for James Cameron.
And inside the family, too, because Avatar is Disney.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know.
Is it? Is Avatar Disney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Fox. It's Fox to Disney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think even before that, because I guess we're with the parks, but they've had the Avatar land in Disney for a while.
I think that was a weird compromise, probably made with the idea that they would eventually merge the companies.
One day we'll own this shit.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's what happened. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the trailer was interesting because it was half a T'Challa funeral, still no explanation for why, which is fine. I'm still very curious. What do you think they'll do with him?
I can't even wager a guess. Like, I don't know. Do you make it like, okay? So I feel like Ryan Coogler would not take something like Chadwick Boseman's death, and even like with T'Challa's death in the movie, make it like a plot point. Because didn't he have like a whole script lined out for this prior to Chadwick Boseman's unfortunate untimely death? That was going to be, I assume, something just different.
Probably would have just been this, but with Chadwick Boseman fighting Namor instead of his whole family doing it.
So is it just like, oh, he died in some battle or whatever, or like, I don't know.
I think he might get super cancer or something. I think he may just straight up die.
Give him a disease. No,
why not?
It can't
give him a disease.
That's like.
I feel like
it's too close. Close to home.
He died of COVID-19.
Oh no!
God. From Letitia Wright.
Because yeah, that's true. I think the only way they do this is that. Like, I feel like it has to be like he just died. It's a bummer, but that happens to people. Like, I think if they make it like a fucking, like he got assassinated by Kang or something, I feel like that's the one that makes it a little too silly.
They shouldn't do that. But like, I don't know about like a disease. I guess there are only so many avenues you could go if it's not either murder or disease. Like, what happened? He like drowned. Like, whatever.
Yeah, maybe. But I feel like a lot of this. I'm guessing this happens before Namor is really in the picture too.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I don't think it can have anything to do with Namor. So I don't know. I feel like it is a disease, but I do think it'll have to be a super disease because he has the heart-shaped herb. So they'll have to like invent something.
Yeah, COVID-19.
That's what Shuri told you. It's not real. It's actually just invented in a lab in Wakanda or fucking Atlantis or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, but it'd be interesting.
Maybe
Did they have trouble filming with her not being vaccinated?
That's what they said. She was like, they couldn't get her to travel to where like Atlanta because she could get on a plane. She wasn't vaccinated.
Maybe
that's the story.
T'Challa could sense that his brother's protege was fighting his son, and so used the last of his life force to contact them through the mysterious power he has, and did something that's not very clear, but ultimately saved his son from remaining in the dark side while sacrificing his own life.
Oh, is this a Miss Marvel thing?
No.
Oh, what was this to think of?
I said 2 words that should make it very clear what I meant.
See, the problem is I figured it was a Miss Marvel thing because it's like sacrificed your energy to save your brother's son or something.
Now, your brother's protege is fighting your son, who they might have a weird thing going on, but we never committed to it.
Brother's protege is fighting your son.
I'm missing this too, man. Are you sure that
I said the words dark side, guys.
Oh, Justice League.
Yep. That's
Zack
it.
Snyder Justice League, obviously. The only true Justice League.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. They're going to do a Carrie Fisher. I don't think they'll do that because they know how bad that was. I don't know. Because the other thing is, I don't think they're doing the first part of the Carrie Fisher, which is using old footage to make it seem like he's in the movie and mostly failing. But, like, I don't think they're going to... I think he will just be, like, away on business or something, and that'll be the beginning of the movie, and then he'll show up maybe in the end of the first act and die of super cancer or something. I think that's... What do you think is the Namor business?
So, like, what would they be fighting over? You know, how
Namor is trying to fuck all of Wakanda's wives.
Yeah. I mean, there seems like there's a scene with, like, a boat, maybe, and, like, some people are on it, so maybe it's, like, Wakanda's doing shit, like, drilling for something or whatever.
I imagine it's probably going to, like, I don't know what the specific conflict is going to be, but the general idea is, like, here are 2 kings of hidden, far more advanced nations who have beef with the outside world, and Namor is going to be like, the humans should be killed, and the Wakandans will be like, no, don't do that.
Yeah. Maybe
he's going to be our... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Nando.
Maybe he, like, needs vibranium to kill the humans, and they won't give it to him or something.
Yeah. Who's our new lead? Who's going to be our new
maybe the
Black
thing
Panther?
that the Black Panther villain has a point about is climate change in this one.
Oh, that would make sense, yeah. Well, then I feel like that would be better for the Atlanteans, because the oceans would rise. Maybe they're boiling.
Yeah, but they'd also get a lot
Yeah.
warmer. It actually does. It does
That's
mess
true.
with sea life a lot, actually.
DJ asked who will be the next Black Panther. I feel like it's got to be Shuri, right? She's the only one that, like...
I don't know. Does the
for me.
heart-shaped plant count as a vaccine?
Yeah,
I don't know.
is she down with that?
That's a good question.
It feels weird that Marvel would put this giant, like, power in the hands of Letitia Wright, who is incredibly controversial.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I don't
that
think
is
they
a
should,
risky move.
I feel like they kind of gotta, because I'm willing to bet Lupita Nyong'o doesn't want to be the Black Panther or something. She's like, yeah, she didn't. She's the only one that didn't come back for Endgame, because I feel like she's like, I'm busy.
Yeah,
and I don't think it could be M'Baku, because who cares? So, like, I feel like she's the only one that even is possible. Besides Wong, but he's busy too.
Right, yeah.
Or Daredevil.
Or Daredevil, yeah, also busy.
It's going to be Martin Freeman. It's going to be the CIA agent.
I would love that. I want the worst option possible. You guys saw me do that salute in the plane that one time. I'm cool. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be the mom for a little bit. She could do it. She'll probably have an action scene, I bet.
I mean, by the laws of inheritance, as far as I understand them, maybe Wakanda has different ones. She would be, well, unless, God, I mean, the brother's dead, the nephew's dead, T'Challa's dead, his dad's dead. It'd probably be some obscure cousin who would end up being king now.
What if Killmonger comes back? You think they'll
honestly,
the dead?
That would be the best shit.
From the where? But where is he dead? In the ocean. So maybe the Atlanteans found him or something. You know? I don't know. Maybe that wasn't just a thoughtful line that shows this thing. Maybe it was bullshit foreshadowing. You know how that works. That's how Marvel operates.
So here's a question for you fellas. Will there be a CGI Chadwick Boseman of him from, like, the Panther God universe or whatever?
Better not.
I hope not.
Talking to someone.
I don't think they can.
I know what you guys hope, but will there be?
I don't think they can get away with it after the what if kind of, this is the last time you'll ever see him in the thing. I think it would be. Yeah, I don't think they'll do it. I guess. Plus, why wouldn't she just see her dad too? I mean, she could see Chadwick, but like.
Yeah, I'm saying both is what I'm saying.
Well, the other good thing about the shadow dimension or whatever, what's it called?
The ancestral
Astral plane. Ancestral plane. Yeah, there you go. Is that you're a panther and then you turn into a person? And then you talk, so like it could just be like, there's his panther sitting and looking at the stars, or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. This movie is weird. I am very. I know a lot of people are very optimistic about this trailer. Trailer looks very good.
Not Diggins. Diggins thinks it's going to be the worst movie next year.
Well, I said that before the trailer came out, so that's not why I said it.
He did say it.
Stick with your convictions.
Yep. I think Halo is really going to come back in the second season. I feel like that's where all the good stuff is.
I think all the people who are hardcore into cucking are going to find out how bad Cortana was cucked in the show, and they're going to make it popular.
And they're going to... Well, then they're going to come over to this. Because this is the other... Because Namor is the original.
The Cook King.
They'll have to fight. Maybe Halo and Namor can fight a little bit. Because they're... Yeah.
Yeah, John Halo and Namor can fight.
John Halo. What'd you think of the Namor look? Tenoch Huerta playing a sort of... I don't know, Aztec or something? I'm not sure what they're going for.
I feel like I didn't really see him enough in the trailer to get a good idea of the look.
I guess like it's more of the aesthetic of whatchamacallit.
Of Atlantis?
Of Atlantis, as instead of being like pretty much the one from Aquaman, it's specifically some Mesoamerican culture that I guess, is there like a real one that it's supposed to be maybe? I don't know.
I don't know offhand.
Yeah. But I think that's very clever.
I'm always in favor of neat visual styles, especially if you giving a culture a distinct identity. So
yeah, I feel like I'm hopeful because this is Black Panther. So I'm hopeful that they checked with the people that's kind of like in real life, and then those guys are cool with it, and they're cool with it. I'm cool with it. But
yes,
I don't know what I can't see. That's the thing. I haven't really looked into it. I'm not sure what they're going for, so who to check with. But I do like that they are blue underwater, or it seems like they're blue on land and not blue underwater, except for Namor because he's part human and he has little wings on his feet. But yeah, he's also a mutant, so I guess he's the second mutant after Kamala Khan.
Is Namor a mutant?
Oh yeah, he's got the wings on his feet, or his mutant power is he can fly because nobody else has those. I feel like they've kind of waffled on it a little bit in continuity in the comics, but yeah, usually he is. Because he's like, I feel like sometimes the X-Men are like, he should be on our team, obviously, because he's a mutant, and then he joins. And they invited him to Krakoa, and he was like, I don't give a shit. I've got bigger problems to worry about than your stupid fantasy island. I've got to fuck Sue Storm. Is she on your island? No? Okay, then I don't care. But yeah. And this is the thing that people think Doctor Doom might show up in, because that fulfills, right? We've thought that pretty much since they announced they were making one of these with Namor.
I mean, he's the other, like, big Fantastic Four villain who is the king of a country.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. We didn't talk about John Wick because I forgot it. John Wick is in this. John Wick 4 is happening.
How exciting.
Yeah. I think it looks weird.
Yeah, it's a shame because I think like originally this movie was supposed to come out in like 2021. I feel like we've gone so long between John Wicks. I'm kind of like, kind of lost steam.
There's just a little bit too for me where it's like in the first one of these he was like rolling around and getting shot and it was a bummer. And he was like trying not to get shot by jumping underwater, and you're like, oh, that's clever. And then in this one, he has a bulletproof jacket that he could just hold up over his face, I guess, to block bullets or something. It's kind of like the Die Hard problem of escalation to the point where it's like, that's not what was fun about these.
Yeah, it's true.
But, I don't know. I mean, these are usually pretty cool. The bad guy seems to be Donnie Yen, so he's pretty cool.
It'll probably be like the third one, where, like, it's kind of nothing, and not that great a movie, but he has a fight in a knife museum. So it's impossible to say if it's bad or not.
Exactly.
And there's like a basketball player in it. It's like, oh my god, they put a basketball player in one of these movies.
That's right. And they killed him with this book. did book murders to him. You guys, so that's Comic-Con. Really great stuff. Speaking of movies that aren't really that great and you kind of forget about them, and there's knives, a lot of knives in this one. We got to talk about The Gray Man for at least 20 minutes.
All right.
You guys, The Gray Man came out this week. I want to real quick highlight something I just saw on Twitter that's so funny. Because there's fucking no way. But this is something they said. The Russo brothers, apparently, have responded to criticism about Civil War's color palette.
What?
They said, this movie is... Yeah, right? I guess people were, running out of questions to ask them about this movie because there's none. But yeah, it was, this is what they say. The movie is brutalist in tone. It's meant to be devoid of color. The whole idea behind it was all these characters were slipping into the morally gray area. They didn't understand their identities.
Hey.
They were in conflict with one another. And so we wanted to use a location where, civilians wouldn't be running away while they were fighting each other. We didn't feel like they could recover from that. So we chose an airport tarmac. So that seems like not true. We made it really gray and flat because we wanted it to seem like they were in the moral gray area.
Also, it feels like he slipped from answering one question to a different question.
Yeah.
Halfway through there.
Yeah. If anything, I feel like it would be black and white would be the thing to make that, because they're really not in a morally gray area. I guess Captain America is, but it's more about a pretty solid division between the two. But I think they just forgot to put the color in, and now they're trying to figure out why. They love gray, though, because we got a movie all about the Gray.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, you guys.
The Gray Man.
The Gray Man. Yeah. IMDb for this, I'm really scared.
Yes.
DJ, you're back with a vengeance, so yeah.
All right. So here's what I'm going to give you.
And I lost last week, so I get to choose go first or last.
Right. So I'll just give you this because it seems fair. It is a one long run-on sentence. So to kind of give you an idea of what we're working with here.
Okay.
I feel like this whole movie is one long run-on sentence.
All right, here we go. I'm going to start because I'm going to just get this out of the way.
All right.
Sander, whatever, or something. I don't remember what his name is. Let's call him Agent 6 or Sigma 6 or whatever. Finds out that the organization that he has been working for is all a lie. So he goes on an international chase led with help from Agent whatever, Anna de Armas' guy, to go and fight the villainous Lloyd something, played by Chris Evans, and maybe bring down the whole organization, and the end.
Oh, Nando,
Okay.
a bold strategy to anticipate IMDb being wrong and including incorrect details in your summary.
Yeah, that's probably it. That's how these go sometimes. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, Diggins.
Cortland Gentry. Incredible
that's
name.
a name for a real person.
A prisoner recruited into a shadowy CIA program discovers that his new boss is terminating the program and covering up the evidence. So he goes rogue in an attempt to bring him down while pursued by Lloyd Hansen, a ruthless private contractor.
All right.
Nando, did you say CIA? I don't think so.
Who knows?
No, he
It's
said
impossible
so.
to know.
an organization.
Yeah.
You were both off way by a lot, but Diggins did say CIA, so I'm going to give it to him.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Nando had 0 details, and Diggins had 1, so
Wow.
congratulations.
I'll take it.
Incredible.
You're both going to be mad, because this movie would be a lot more interesting than what we saw.
Of course it
All
is.
right.
One of
When
these.
Yeah.
When the CIA's most skilled operative, whose true identity is known to none, accidentally uncovers dark agency secrets, a psychopathic former colleague puts a bounty on his head, setting off a global manhunt by international assassins.
See, now
I
the
mean,
movie
like,
does
kind of?
say that that's going to happen. It just
Yeah.
never does.
It's not the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen. But the movie
feel-
says it will.
Yeah, I feel like you could change that last bit to, like, from an international manhunt of assassins to just a big old fight scene in one city. And then, I guess that's really all that happens in it.
He puts a
improv,
bounty.
right?
He puts a
Yeah.
bounty on him for an international group of assassins, but the only ones who find him are the guys that he specifically sends.
Yeah. Like, that feels like John Wick, what you're describing. Very John Wick,
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
That was one of my notes. It was
Yeah.
like I thought this was kind of John Wick 2, but it was it's just interesting that, to be fair, the movie says this IMDb summary says what the movie says, but they're both wrong because that's not what the movie does.
Yeah.
But Diggins, you won, so
Yeah, so just to quickly say how I felt about The Gray Man, I find this movie fascinating
yeah.
because it knows so many cool things that other movies have done, and it knows that people liked them, but it can't quite figure out why.
Yeah.
It's just every scene is something you've seen before, but done in a slightly different way that's worse. And it's just fascinating to watch. I don't know. It's bad, but I can't stop looking at it. What about you, Nando? What did you think?
This movie is an affront to God. It is what I'm calling the anti-movie, the same way that Christ and Antichrist. Like, this is not just like the worst movie ever made, because it's not. It's fine. The fact that it is the most expensive star-studded movie ever, and it's so boring and costs so much money and will still make a bazillion spin-offs and stuff, is like, it's brute forcing like a whole cinematic universe and trilogy and stuff through nothing but marketing and just straight cash. Like, say what you will about the Marvel stuff, but at least when you first made him, it was like, oh yeah, that guy's pretty cool. Let's see more of him. And then you went from there. But with this, it's just like it's so boring. Even the name, like everything about it, is just so nothing. It's incredible. Like, I think a lot of it is also bad. Like, there are a lot of individual choices that are bad, but like, just in terms of like existing, this movie's existence is proof that it's broken. The whole movie thing is not working, and we need to fix it.
we need to shut down movies until we can figure out what's going on.
Honestly, that's where I am with this one. Didn't hate it. It was very not like boring. I kept stopping and starting. I think I watched this over the course of 3 days because I just kind of got bored. But yeah, it is an affront to God. It needs to go. DJ, what about you?
I certainly don't disagree. So, like, I agree with all of the incredibly salient points that you guys made. One thing I'll add is, so, Nando, to your point, this movie was incredibly expensive. I feel like if we heard Netflix's recent earnings calls, like, they can't afford to make a Gray Man.
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing? Not only is it a bad movie in a, like, movie, like, perspective, it is a bad movie from a business perspective.
Yeah, that's true.
But DJ,
No one signed on to Netflix because of this movie.
DJ, so many babies chewing on a remote turned this on for 5 seconds. Like, you can't make up those kind of numbers.
So many barbershop waiting rooms were just crawling with people watching The Gray Man. Crawling with babies, possibly, too, because it's flocked to it.
How many dogs probably just put on the Gray Man? It's
Yeah.
like, oh.
I feel like I would be more impressed if, because they advertised this too as like $200 bazillion million, like they were like, we're poor now, also give us a little bit more money to Netflix.
And
they did that with
and the Stranger Things episodes
Yeah,
were the
and
first things they announced after being like, we have no money.
Yeah, all the LGBTQ animators are fired. But look what we got instead. And it's like, at least Stranger Things was kind of good. And you could kind of see the money, like, at just like, this is the 4th one of these, and it's kind of expensive and whatever. And they're very long. It's an insane length, too. Like, the dollar per minute of this movie, I don't know what it is. But if I had a full number, it's got to be, what, like 140 minutes, maybe? It's like at 2 hours and a little change?
It's not even. It's like 129.
Oh
it's
my-
only 2
no.
hours 9 minutes.
Oh,
Really?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So then it's like the hour to minute, what we're seeing on screen every second, as far as how much money is average split out over this, compared to Stranger Things, it's completely different. And like,
Yeah.
also, I feel like this would have worked if you did the opposite. If they were like, we spent $50 million and look how good this movie is. Everybody would be like, oh, good Netflix, you're making cheaper movies because you're poor. But now it's like, yeah, no, it's I don't even know what this is. It's like, yeah. It's like that broke friend, you know, who has really, really fancy shoes all the time. And it's like, that might be the problem, the shoes. Or at least if it's not the problem, it isn't helping. I don't know. This movie stinks.
This movie is the expensive shoes on your poor friend of movies.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Oh my god, yeah. I hated it.
Expensive, ugly shoes, to be more specific.
Yeah, like, it's like those Kanye West shoes, the Yeezys.
Yeah.
That are just impossible to get, but they're also not very good shoes. Like, if it was raining, your foot would get wet.
Right.
There's lots of holes in them.
Your shoes dissolve very quickly.
Yeah. The plot of this movie is insane. As the loser, I have to say it. It's kind of what we had described, except right in the middle there's a flashback for no reason.
Yeah.
And like, it's so dumb. Like, the thing is, Ryan Gosling, whatever. One of the Ryans is in this. It could have been either one. They both.
Meg Ryan.
Yeah. That would have been interesting. But he's like a cool guy who does assassinations for the government because that's what he does. And he was recruited by Billy Bob Thornton, who was nice. Just like a nice, honorable man who does assassinations for the government. And instead, there's a mean one of those now. And we'll talk about him. But the idea is that they're killing all the ones of them because they all kind of suck. And they're using the old ones to kill the older, like they're using the newest ones to kill the older ones, which seems like a bad plan. And it is, because it ends up being one. But like,
isn't it just Blade Runner?
It's Blade Runner. It's,
well, it's maybe Blade Runner because we don't know if Deckard was a replicant or not.
Right.
I feel like there's something else where, I mean, this is a big thing in like assassin kind of movies, where the guy is supposed to kill is also part of the organization. It's like, you see, the organization is bad, but I can't remember what any of them are.
There's not a single original plot point in this entire movie.
Yeah, oh, not at all. So they go to kill him, and then he hangs out with Ana de Armas because she's also in it, and then he kills the guy. But the guy is killed, and the guy gives him a flash drive in a necklace from fucking Pirates of the Caribbean or something, and he's like, "This has all the information you need to get your boss in trouble, so you probably want to use this." And then it's an international, spanning the globe, whatever. Chris Evans is called. Lloyd Hansen was his name? Yeah. And he's a guy with a mustache that's pretty much just doing Chris Evans, and he's very bad. He will kill anyone you want. And
he's the only person in the movie having any fun.
Yeah, and he's terrific in it. Like, it's not even... Yeah. The movie should have been about him. But he kills everybody, so he tries to kill Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling goes to his friend Alfred Woodard, and then him and Ana de Armas team up for a while. They run around, they shoot some stuff. There's a big action scene with lots of nameless goons exploding near a train, and then
there's
they go
a
to the house
precocious
and
girl
fight.
that the hitman has bonded with.
Yeah. There's a little girl who has a magic pacemaker with a GPS locator on it or something, which I don't know if that's a thing. Probably not. Maybe. If it is, I can't imagine it's used like this. Like, although maybe it is. Right? I don't know. This would be a handy way to use it. But yeah. So she gets kidnapped. First thing that happens, it's such an insane. Like, Billy Bob Thornton gets captured, and then they capture his daughter, and then we watch a little bit of a different movie where Ryan Gosling and her are friends, and then they go back to this one. And I don't know. A bunch of them die. A lot of them are alive for sequels. Chris Evans dies, which is kind of a bummer. But we'll probably get an origin one of him or something. I don't know. It's really boring. There's a lot of stuff that happens. Like, he gets captured by a guy who's taking his picture for, like, a passport at one point, but it doesn't really matter. He's, like, the thing with this character is he's kind of like the character Ryan Gosling plays in, like, good movies, where he's kind of like a normal guy going through all of this and being like, ugh, I gotta go do a fight scene. All right, whatever. But there's none of the charm of that. It just has, like, the aloofness of it. So...
Yeah.
It doesn't really work as a character. He's kind of MacGyver also, but doesn't matter because everybody's got guns. But he's kind of MacGyver with a gun. Like, he could do weird shit with guns. I don't know. It's not very good. Then it ends. And Jessica Henwick is in charge now because she's in this.
Yeah, she takes shit from no one.
She's
made to look like a fool in the end.
For most of the movie, she's the person there to be called gendered insults and be like, no, the CIA isn't evil. You're a rogue agent.
Yeah. I did like that one bit where she yelled at them all. It was pretty funny. That's pretty much all I got. The movie's pretty bad.
It is pretty bad.
We have a wheel. We got to get through it. It's at a breakneck speed. So real quick, I'm just going to spin it. I got somebody's. It says, I get that you're glib. What's that one all about?
I get it. So the first scene of the movie is the recruitment where Billy Bob Thornton finds Cortland Gentry, the best name ever, in jail.
People.
And like one of the first things he says to him after Ryan Gosling says some smart ass remark is like, I get it, you're glib. And it's like, you can't make fun of it being his only personality trait if that's going to continue being his only personality trait for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, that is very bad. All right, next thing, spun the wheel again. It landed on Regé-Jean Waller. That's one of mine. Regé-Jean Page has the Suicide Squad or whatever. He's Amanda Waller in this. He is so miscast, it's not even funny. Like,
oh my
it is
goodness,
insane how much this character should be like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something, and instead he's Regé-Jean Page. Like, I couldn't with him. It's not good.
Yeah, that was brutal.
I spun the wheel again. DJ, it landed on one of yours. Location cards. Let's talk about those.
So did we mention this movie was directed by the Russos?
It was directed by the Russos, who love gray movies on purpose, you guys. It's not a mistake they made.
It really feels like they're like, okay, we get Netflix to let us do whatever we want. We get, $200 billion to make this. You know what we need? 17 location cards.
Yeah.
It is somehow the staple of their movies now.
That's true. Because the movies are just kind of disjointed bunches of scenes tied together a little bit. And but
they're in places that don't even make sense. They're in London for, at one point for, no reason. It's their globetrotting, but globetrotting without a purpose. It was so weird. This movie was so weird, guys.
Also, the location cards are ugly. Because they do this weird thing where you can kind of see through it like it's glass, and it's not good looking.
I also want to point out, so we don't know this for sure. So, he's airlifted from Chiang Mai after he goes rogue because Billy Bob Thornton's trying to help him.
Right, right.
Billy Bob Thornton at the time is in Azerbaijan. Now, I would have thought that plane was taking him to Billy Bob Thornton.
Right.
But when that plane crashes because Billy Bob Thornton gets kidnapped and told to have the team kill him, which he'd read the script and knew that they were going to do that, so he was ready for it. When it crashes and he goes off on a parachute, he ends up in Turkey, which if you're flying there from Southeast Asia, you had to go past Azerbaijan to get to Turkey.
That's true.
So I don't know what's up with that.
I don't know.
Yeah, this movie was like locations in search of a scene.
Yeah.
And how do we get it here?
It's really awful. I spun the wheel again. Speaking of that, it landed on one of mine. Drones ahoy. A lot of drone shots in this movie, and they're all bad.
Oh, my God.
It makes it look like a video game.
It makes it look like a video game where I'm a drone. I couldn't... at no point was I ever oh, this looks... I was like, oh, that's a drone shot again. And at one point, there's the one in the hospital where they're or is it a hospital? Yeah, that's what it is. It's a hospital. It's a fight scene in a hospital. And everybody runs out of it, and there's a little fight in the street. And there is a drone shot where at one point an actor ducks out of the way of the drone as if it is a character in the movie or something, but it's not. It's not following anyone, not any first-person view. So is the camera real? What happened on screen that I saw? Because it seems like the character acknowledged the camera in a really weird way. It's like Deadpool? I don't know. Drone shots, I don't like them anymore. I never liked them. But now I'm like, they gotta go. Michael Bay's were okay. I spun the wheel again, landed on one of yours, Diggins, I think. Maybe DJ, I don't remember. The Ken doll line. Remember that?
Oh, that's DJ.
Oh, DJ? My God. I can't remember the specific line, but at some point, the Chris Evans is like, would someone shoot that Ken doll or whatever? And it's like, do we really like they must have put that line in before the casting of Ryan Gosling as Ken in the Barbie movie, but it's so on the nose, it's crazy. Is that how he's seen in Hollywood?
Yeah, I don't think he looks like a Ken doll.
I
There's
think
other actors.
if you're
do.
handsome and you're blonde, you just get called a Ken doll. That's just the rule.
I guess that's true. Yeah. That was a weird line. It made me go like, "Oh right, this is a movie." Every couple of seconds, there was something in this movie that was like, "Oh right, I'm watching a movie of this."
I'm watching a movie right now. Yeah.
Spun the wheel again. I landed on one of yours, Diggins. Explain the metaphor like I'm 5.
Yeah, so
talk about that.
In the inexplicable flashback of him and the child bonding, because God forbid it happened during the actual story.
Right, or in the beginning, like where it would set time-wise, where it would make sense.
It's that splitting the difference of, like, the movie starts in media res, which, like, good, although then it's going too fast and doesn't establish anything and nothing makes sense. But then also we grind the movie to a halt to do a flashback to explain his backstory anyway. So, like, what was the point?
I don't know.
Anyway, so during that, one of his scenes he's got with the child, who indeterminate age child. I have no idea how old she's supposed to be.
I'm going to say
15?
11. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, this precocious child is like, "What's your tattoo?" And I guess it's the word Sisyphus, which, although he never says it.
Yeah.
He's like, it's
They
like,
couldn't get the rights.
it's
Yeah,
a
it
name
really
that
does
he
feel like they couldn't afford it.
The Sisyphus
They already
rights,
spent $200 million. How are they supposed to pay even more homage to Zeus somehow? Like, sacrifice a lamb at the altar of somebody?
Yeah, they would have had to sacrifice a fatted calf, and it wasn't the budget for it. But yeah, so he's just explaining, like, he's got to push a boulder up a hill because God has punished him, and he was a bad man who did bad things. And she's like, well... And as if this wasn't obvious enough already, what this was about, when he goes to leave, she's like, "Did he ever get the boulder on top of the hill?" He's like, "I'll let you know if it happens." It's like,
Yep.
I get it. It's about you. It's about how you're a bad man making penance or whatever. Except later we find out you're not a bad man, because nobody can ever be a bad man.
Nope. Except for one character has to accept all the bad of the Jesus of sin. He just sucks all the bad out of everybody else. Puts
More
his
like
little mustache.
the Angrabenu. He accepts all evil of the world so that other people can be pure.
That makes sense. I spun the wheel again, landed on what I think is one of yours, Diggins. All the Warriors. Is that yours?
Technically it's DJ's, but
okay.
I named it All the Warriors.
DJ, what do you got?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say like let Diggins take it because let Diggins take it.
Sure. So basically, this is what we were talking about before, where Chris Evans goes like, "I put a hit out on him. All the coolest guys all over the world are gonna be killing him." And we get a montage of like different hit squads from all over the world, like gearing up, like, yeah, it's time to kill this guy for money, and then none of them ever show up, and the only people he ever fights are Chris Evans's guys.
Yeah, that part is weird. Speaking of that, I spun the wheel again, landed on first annual Prague Pig Roast. Diggins, this is one of yours.
Yeah. So they have a big shootout in the historical center of Prague, which is insane. It's like if you had a shootout in like St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Next one, Gray Man 2.
But yeah, so and like it starts with just like, I don't care about the collateral damage. But it very quickly goes from that to, we are actively caring more about killing the police than killing you.
Yeah.
They are gunning down, like, the Prague police force is devastated after this. Cut in half, at least.
Yeah, some literally.
There's like full shots of just a police car pulls up and one of the bad guys just guns all of them down for no reason.
With those guns that are like bigger than regular guns that only The Rock can fire in a Fast and Furious movie because it's so heavy. Like, humongous weapons.
There's even a point where it changes to like a car chase, and there's a dude with like a tank gun on a car shooting explosives, and he has Ryan Gosling dead to rights, about to kill him, but then he sees a cop car, so he shoots the cop car instead.
Diggins. I think you may like this movie, if I'm being honest. But
yeah, these are the real heroes of the movie.
I do think this scene has one funny moment that kind of something like this comes up later when like all the guys are shooting Ryan Gosling was like hiding behind a little tiny wall, like when fucking Batman hides behind a wall.
It's a bench.
Yeah. Oh, a bench, right? Yeah, that's what it is. And Chris Evans, after a lot of this goes on, Chris Evans is like, how many guys does it take to shoot him? Just shoot him, guys. I thought that was fun.
Yeah. I think he even says, like, how hard is it to shoot somebody who's handcuffed to a bench?
That's what it is. I like that line. And then I like later when his guys die and he shoots him, he's like, fucking morons. These guys suck. I like that bit a lot. Also, this is the scene where Jessica Henwick is like, you have failed more than anyone else has ever failed in the history of failure. Does like a little Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison speech to them, and I thought that was pretty fun.
Love that.
I spun the wheel again, landed on one of mine, hand stab. Brian Gosling gets stabbed through the hand at one point, but then he doesn't.
Oh my
it's
god,
fine.
yeah.
It's pretty stupid. I don't know why they bother.
Like hand stabs are very on trend lately. I feel like it happens a lot.
Well, it's a disease that you can recover from in a second or two, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's an injury that looks gnarly, but won't. But well, I mean, in a movie, will never impact your actual performance.
Yeah.
In reality, you would probably be like crippled in that hand for life.
Oh my god, yeah. I spun the wheel again, landed on one of mine. This one I couldn't stand. Just they have no honor. The bad assassin guy later realizes that the assassins are bad at quits. I don't think that makes it any worse or better for you, buddy. I feel like a lot of the people that hired you to do murders probably don't have a lot of honor. You killed some cops. Again, like you know, morally gray area there. But like, yeah, I don't know what. Why is your line a girl? Because he doesn't even learn it's a little girl. Like he doesn't get too much information out of it. He goes, you have a girl here. Maybe he's like,
you're gonna kill a girl.
Yeah, ew. She got cooties. Spun the wheel again. Last one. Diggins landed on one of your showdown at Resident Evil Mansion.
Yes, so the finale takes place in the Chris Evans' headquarters, which turns out to be this huge mansion in Croatia, which has the layout of a Resident Evil mansion. Like, at one point, they take the doors out into the catwalk, the stone catwalk over the top of the mansion that, like, goes around the edges so that they can jump off into the moat around the mansion. Yep. It's like, I was expecting Lady Dimitrescu to show up at any moment.
Yeah, they have a Resident Evil show, so maybe they'll cross over at some point now.
Hey.
I hear it's really bad.
I hear... Not from Netflix? From the people that brought you The Gray Man? No. That doesn't sound right. Speaking of The Gray Man, this isn't a wheel chunk, but I do have something I noticed about these movies. So we've talked about this. Netflix makes identical action movies, and they're all really boring and stuff. I have 4 right here: Six Underground, The Gray Man, Extraction, Army of the Dead. You could switch all their names and it's fine. Six Underground can be called Army of the Dead. It's about a bunch of people who everyone thinks are dead, and they form a little army. The Gray Man can be called Six Underground because it's about a guy named Six who goes underground.
That's
Extraction
true.
can be called The Gray Man because it's the 4th one that I needed to do this properly. And then Army of the Dead can become Extraction because it's about them going into the thing and extracting a person. I'm just saying these movies' titles don't work, and it's kind of proof that the movies are all the same. Yeah, that's all I got. We're going to get a whole bunch of these. There's going to be a sequel to Gray Man, a spinoff. Yeah, I don't know.
For why, though? For why?
I don't know. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the numbers. Did people watch this really, though? Like, I don't know.
They're never honest, though, is the problem.
And even if they are, they're misleading. Like,
it was in our top 10 for 8 weeks in a row.
If it was a real movie, it would have made
$30
$30 trillion because 1 billion people watched it every second of the day. Yeah, it's really bad. I didn't like it. It's the anti-movie. All right, so we're at a classic segment. Do you guys want to get to our classic segment?
Yeah.
Do you have anything besides The Gray Man that you want to recommend to the fine people?
Oh my god, I can't recommend The Gray Man enough. So, I know you guys mentioned The Rehearsal on HBO, and I know that I told you to mention it for me, but I also want to mention it again because the second episode is about taking care of a baby.
Oh.
So very poignant, because Nando was like, "Well, like, how's it going?" I'm like, "Hey, have you seen that rehearsal episode? It's just like that. The robot wakes up at 7:30, and you got to feed the robot. It's exactly how it goes down."
Did you crash your Scion TC going 100 miles an hour and walk away?
I didn't, but I did see the number 77 on my way home from the hospital, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this baby's going to be Jesus Christ."
That's a good sign.
So
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, it show's terrific.
It's
so good.
fucking amazing.
Apparently, there's 6 episodes. I looked this up before.
Okay, damn, that's like not even close to enough.
I mean, it's as much as I can imagine they make. They're so particular and like so planned out and
expensive.
Stuff. Yeah,
like an episode must cost like $10 million.
This is almost like a parody of Gray Man in that they're showing us how much money they can waste on a thing like this. Except it's good, but it's kind of arbitrary as opposed to Gray Man, which is the opposite of that. What else you got, DJ?
All right, so one thing I'm not. Oh, FY Island. I know you mentioned that, Nando, but
so good.
So
and only
so
better
good.
since I mentioned it, because that second flight of episodes or whatever we're calling them, insane ending. I don't even know what to think.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely check that out. Other thing that I don't think you guys mentioned, so something worth watching on Netflix. They brought back
Coco
Iron
Melon.
Chef. Well, that. Yeah, they brought back Iron Chef. They called it it's Iron Chef: Quest for an Iron Legend. It's got Alton Brown, which is great. None of the original Food Network Iron Chefs, because they probably all they couldn't get them, or they decided to stay with Food Network or whatever.
Right.
But they got the chairman.
Yeah.
They got this new girl who's with Alton Brown, who's his sidekick, who's really fun. It's really enjoyable. If you've never seen Iron Chef before, the premise is they get an executive chef, just from some restaurant, to take on a quote Iron Chef, who's a really good chef. There's a featured secret ingredient, which everything has to be incorporated into the 5 dishes. And it's really fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's like a good cooking competition show to watch, because Alton Brown is just so smart with food science that you actually get stuff out of watching the show. And it's really just always some obscure stuff that you would never even eat, because it's in restaurants that the pores aren't allowed into. But it's still very interesting to watch, and I think is a lot of fun. So yeah, Iron Chef: Quest for Iron Legend. Netflix probably spent too much money on it, but it's actually worth watching. So I would say check that out.
Nice, DJ.
That's all I got.
You weren't here for last week. Did you watch The Bear? Have you seen that yet? Speaking of chefs,
I've heard so much about The Bear, but I have not watched it. Should I watch it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's interesting.
What's it on?
Hulu.
Okay, it's on Hulu. Okay.
Diggins, what about you? You have anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do, yes. I have a couple things. One, I saw a little movie called Nope this past week.
Ooh, what's your review? Nope or yup?
My review is not Nope.
Oh.
No, I really liked it. I was a big fan. I think it's a little less thematically dense than Get Out or Us, but I think it's a really tight, kind of monster story about. I mean, I don't know how much you want me to say what it's about, because the mystery of what it's about was a big part of a lot of the advertising.
Aliens.
There are
That's what
aliens.
It seems like, yeah. But maybe it's not. Maybe are we the real monsters?
Oh.
No, we're not.
Are there a bunch of
We
people
are,
living in subways underground? Did they come back?
Not in this one. Maybe next time. No, I mean I'm a known Us defender, but I will say I like this one more than Us. I think it is a little more coherent. There's a lot of things I like about it. It's hard to talk about it without spoilers. I think it's just a really tight kind of thriller horror sort of package with a really cool... There's a point halfway through where you kind of understand everything that's going on, and I think that moment is really cool and works super well. And so it's really good, one of those. So yeah, if you like Jordan Peele's other work, or if you just like kind of horror stuff or horror monster stuff, I think it's a great one, worth checking out. I also have a board game to recommend. I've been playing a co-op campaign board game with a friend of mine called Sleeping Gods.
Cool.
It's you're all however many people you're playing with, you're all the crew of this ship that's gotten stuck on this archipelago that, like, it's this magic place where once you go it, you can't leave unless the gods are awake. So you're going on this quest to, like, try to find a way to get back home. And it's like, you know, Tales of the Arabian Nights? You guys have both played that, right?
Yeah.
Game. Love
It's kind of like that, in where, like, you go to places and explore them, and then there's, like, prompts and a huge book of prompts for all the different places you can go. Except it's a huge campaign game, so you're, like, A, you're working together, B, you're, like, getting equipment and stuff, and finding new quests to go on and going on. Like, it's just so much bigger than Tales of the Arabian Nights. It's, like, it's stupidly enormous. We've played it over 2 sessions for, like, 4 hours each, and we're 2/3 of the way through the game.
Wow.
One play of the game, and it has huge replay value. So yeah, it's
shoot,
it's gigantic.
Damn.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It takes a little bit to understand the rules fully, but I think the systems actually are fairly compact and work well together. So it's not just like, you know, there's a billion rules for everything.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. So if you have someone you can play a stupidly huge and long board game with in your life, I think it's a good one.
Nice.
What's the name of the game?
Sleeping Gods.
Sleeping Gods. I'm curious what the complexity is on BGG.
I have no idea.
They give it a 3.18 out of 5. So pretty complex.
It's
also,
fairly complex.
Can't tell if this is a typo. Playing time is 60 to 1,200 minutes. Like, are they saying the full thing?
I guess. I don't know. I mean...
Can you, like, accidentally win on the first dice roll or something, and then, like, oh, yeah, they all work out.
Yeah, right.
And we're good. It's pretty weird.
But those are my recs. Nando, what are your recs for this week?
Besides the things that... excuse me. Besides the things the DJ said, like F-Boy Island and the other one, The Rehearsal, which I love. Also a new episode of For All Mankind, which I also love. I think the show's great. This episode was wild, and like it was something that like you're kind of like, oh, this is going to happen eventually, and something did happen. That was cool. I watched 2 movies this weekend. First one is, and this is like, I watched the Bob's Burgers movie. Did you guys see this?
Oh yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
it's pretty
I
good.
haven't seen it, but I've heard good things.
It's like a big long episode of the show. It's got different animation a little bit, like, but besides that, it's like all those animated like Simpsons movies and like the Rugrats movies and stuff. Scale's a little bigger and it's longer, but it's fun. I also watched, and this was just because we were kind of flipping through the Netflixes and HBOs and stuff, landed on Ponyo, that Miyazaki movie. Have either of you guys watched this?
We saw it at the museum when we were there.
We did. We saw the beginning of it. The beginning of it is pretty good, and the middle of it is also pretty good. The end, I'm not quite as much of a fan of, and it's really weird. But it's pretty good overall, and it's cool looking. But a wild ending for a movie that is like about a little fish.
Yeah.
Besides that, yeah, I don't think I've really watched anything else that's really cool. But I do like all of those things. What are we doing next week?
It's a great question, Nando.
That's a great question.
Is it DC Dwayne Johnson League of Super Pets, or do we just skip that?
Only at theaters,
I think so, yeah.
I would love to hard pass that.
Yeah, we may have to.
Can we pay off our movie debt?
Yeah, we could
so much movie
pick
debt.
one of those.
Is
I don't know
Minions,
which one.
The Rise of Gru on streaming yet?
No, I don't think so. I think that's still...
That's not on movie debt, is it?
No, I'm just saying we should do Minions.
Oh, you
okay.
hate us? Oh,
Yeah, I just hate us and want us to suffer. Genuinely.
Like our fans.
Yep.
Yeah, what are the... I don't know. We'll figure one of those. Keep an eye on Twitter. We'll say what it is, probably. And
Maybe a poll! Ooh.
Yeah, maybe more.
Oh.
Yeah, Oh, you know what else I watched, by the way? This is like a late rec. I watched the first episode of the Harley Quinn show. That's back, speaking of HBO. It's pretty good.
Oh, shit.
It's kind of the same as it used to be again.
They doing one a week again?
3 in this week, but I don't know if that's just the first week and then it gets slow. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll maybe do a poll or something.
Is Batman going to go down on Catwoman?
Oh, I bet.
I hope so.
He probably will, for real. Like, yeah, they definitely will.
They have to do that.
Yeah.
They have to.
Do you guys have anything to plug, DJ?
Yeah, so back also with Roses and Rejections for this season of The Bachelorette. Michelle is still, she's on her podcast, Maternity Leave. So I've actually been recording with Lovey McPherson, who does the Married at First Sight stuff on for Pop Break. So that's been good. She's been a joy to host with. She's never seen The Bachelor or Bachelorette before, so this has been like a real trip, especially because this season has been a train wreck. It's been like really bad. Like, I've told everyone, look, you could watch The Bachelorette or you can watch FY Island and love it. So I think everyone should just watch FY Island. It's so much better. But if you are watching, you want to check out our podcast where we're covering that. And Michelle and I will probably cover FY Island at some point, but probably in the fall when it's a little bit more dead. Check that out on the Pop Break TV feed.
Nice. Diggins, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, I mean, I have my newsletter, a little perspective.substack.com. I stream sometimes at twitch.tv/thisisanodname. And, as I've mentioned the past couple of weeks, there's a project, Ballads of the Distant Reaches, distantreaches.com or at Distant Reaches on Twitter. That is, basically a newsletter of different short stories set in this one fantasy universe that you should definitely keep an eye out for the next story that gets sent. It's gonna be a big one. I mean, not a big one.
It's gonna be a Neil Gaiman one.
It's another Gray Man.
It's gonna be written by it's the Gray Man, written by Neil Gaiman. That's right.
Nice.
Finally, I've been hoping he'd get to that. After Sandman, it was clear that the next man would be gray, and it will be. So lucky us. Speaking of plugs, I plug. I guess probably by the time between now and whenever the next one of these comes out, the Batman 2 pitch will be out. It's pretty good. Speaking of things that they didn't talk about at all at Comic-Con, they're probably going to make the Batman movie, I assume. And they say they're going to make a bunch of shows that they also didn't talk about at Comic-Con. Nailed it. So I'll be talking about that in a video on YouTube and Nebula and stuff. So watch that. That is everything. So it's been wonderful talking about Comic-Con and sometimes the Gray Man.
Mostly Comic-Con.
Glad you're back from the Noor Dimension, DJ.
Yeah, it's good to be
and
back.
Valhalla.
And Valhalla, right? Yeah, I forgot
yeah.
what the second thing is.
At least I got a son for my efforts, so that's cool.
Yeah, that is true. Miss Marvel should have gotten a son in the Noor Dimension.
Yeah, I was thinking about this, by the way. I got to be careful. He may be able to listen to this one day, so I got to be less of an idiot.
Gosh.
But, I got years to work on that.
That's true.
I got years.
Yeah, I mean, he can listen to ones in the past, though. You know.
Oh shit!
He can even listen to this
him.
one now. He doesn't. Yeah, unless in the future podcasts are only streamed once. Well, and when they're NFTs, maybe it will be.
Once Poor the Pod Butcher has killed all podcasters.
Yeah.
By the time your son is an adult, podcasts will be a thing of the past.
Yeah, it'll just revert back to radio, the old thing.
Yeah. It should all be live. Why isn't it live?
Why isn't it live? Until next week, I've been at Nando Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye. Love you.